Blog Talk Radio.
Kings, better than diamond rings. That's why we're here to sing football. Sunday in the snow, referees whistle blows. Weekend warriors toe to toe. Football.
The old timers, do you remember the names like Bronco Nagurski and Night Train Lane? Bulldog Turner, my man Sam Huff, in the snow and the mud, they were still real tough. Crazy Legs Hurts, and remember Raymond Berry asked me if they hit hard, and I'll say Berry, Paul, Christian, Buddy, Young Lenny Moore. It's them eyes, all they seem to always score. Ed Sprinkle, defensive end for those years. Gene Big Daddy Lipson was the man to fear. You have Steve Van Buren and Otto Graham. Johnny Unitas had the arm of a Superman. We had Charlie Trippy and Gino Marquette. If you're searching for a champion, they're your best bet. Which Oscar quarterback, like Johnny Lou Jack or even Sid Luckman, as a matter of fact. Do you remember Red Brains, the Galloping Ghost? He could do a 95 running coast to coast. You had Norm Van Brocklin, a real great player, so swift with his moves that he could be mayor. Y.A. Tittle, Allie Madison, hey, I remember all those guys from back in the days.
It's the sport of kings, better than diamond rings. That's why we're here to sing football. Sunday in the snow, referees whistle blows. Weekend warriors toe to toe. Football, 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 football.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Kelly Marshall coming out with a hot new episode of CMT Firestorm. We're giving you the best, brightest, and boldest in the world of football, college, professional. We're going to even talk about a little bit of high school football today, because you know how we do it on this show. With me as usual, my partners in crime, we got my boy Chi-Town Mike. Mike, what's going on, man?
What's going on, everybody? First off, I'm going to say, I'm just here so I won't get fined. I'm just here so I won't get fined. That's why I'm here. I'm just here so I won't get fined.
My goodness. Also, it looks like we got the original Tennessee volunteer with us, Mr. Tony Watley. What's going on, Watley?
What's up, fellas? I'm so glad you came and didn't take that fine, Chi-Town. That is so smart of you.
You know why he's here.
Exactly. That is awesome. That is awesome. Don't take the fine, Chi-Town. Don't take the fine.
That's what he's here for. Let's go ahead and start there. Let's bring it up. It's kind of a weird subject, you know. So I posted on the CMT. I posted on my personal page. You know, it seems like almost like the media is trying to boost this Marshawn Lynch thing and make it bigger than the Inflategate situation. Now, Tony, you are an advocate of Inflategate. How do you feel that the media is trying to put Marshawn Lynch on the front page now?
Yeah, I think it's ridiculous. I really do. I think that whole thing about him, his gold cleats and, you know, now his hat and all that. Now, I understand why they do it, because everything that happens in the NFL is about profit, which means somebody's paying to make those shoes, somebody's paying to make those helmets, somebody's paying the NFL a lot of money to make all of this stuff, and you can only wear their brands when you are representing the NFL. So I do understand, but at the same time, I think that they are making issues and mountains out of molehills when there are bigger things and bigger fish to fry. Just like I said about this whole Inflategate, I think it's a big deal out of nothing because the other team only scored 7 points. Now, if it were a 2-point game and you look back, then yes, I would say, oh my God, that might be a big deal. But when you scored 6 touchdowns and they only scored 1, and 2 of those scores came off of interceptions and mistakes by them, they would have lost anyway. So I don't even see why it's a big deal.
Marshawn Lynch is a cool brother, man. When I first heard him say, well, I'm not here to be not well, I'm just here so I won't get fined. Part of me was thinking, well, I mean, he should do, the fans pay his job. I mean, we pay for, to entertain and watch football players and the media just to answer questions. But I just remember, this is America. Amendment, freedom of speech. So if the man don't want to answer any of the questions, he could just say, I'm just here so I won't get fined. Hey, he did say it. So at the end of the day, that's the guy. He said he just here so he won't get fined. So, he answered the question, and it's freedom of speech.
It seems like, what the media is trying to do, it seems like they're getting bitter that he's not talking to them. And it almost seems like now they're going to try to gun for him. They brought up the subject of him wearing the hat. And the hat, and they're trying to see if he's going to get fined for wearing the hat. But then it turns out that the hat is made by New Era, who's the clothing sponsor for the NFL. But the way the media kept pushing it is like like I said, it's like kind of like a jilted girlfriend. It's like, I mean, to me, why even have dude come up there if he's not going to say anything? Just let him be. And it's like it's like they get mad. They get mad, and it's and me, I don't blame them. Like I said, if you talk to the media before, and they've tried to either embarrass you or twist your words around, like they usually do with everybody. Why give them? Why keep giving them ammunition? Why give them fuel?
For me, I don't know. I just see a problem with making a big deal out of all of it. I really do. I just don't understand why it's a big deal. I mean, I understand the money, but at the same time, did they really lose money because he advertised somebody else's product? Is that what they're saying?
Yeah, Go ahead, Mike.
I was gonna say now hearing about the hat, like dang, I just let the man be. Shoot, just leave him alone. Hey, he there. It's constantly picking on the guy.
First it was the cleats, then it's the hat. It's like what I mean, come on. And like I said, to me, whether the Inflategate thing was a big deal or not. Like I said, I think it exposed something else about the Patriots organization. Everybody wanted it to be over, and nobody. But yet, you got people calling for saying that he would have got suspended from the Super Bowl if he would have wore those cleats. Are you serious? And like I said, it just shows the arrogance. It shows a lot of arrogance. Like you got Robert Kraft now coming out saying that he thinks that the league should apologize to Bill Belichick and Tom Brady for what they had to went through. Are you serious? It's almost a joke.
For me, I guess maybe I'm just ready for the damn Super Bowl to happen because I'm over all of this bullshit. I really am. I'm over all of this nonsense. Can we just play the game?
I believe you. It looks like we got I don't know. I gotta come up with a moniker for James. Let me see. I think I'm gonna refer to James as, we got the pride of James. You went to Rick, didn't you?
Oh, you said what?
I said you went to Rickards, didn't you?
That's right.
We got the pride of Rickards High School, Tallahassee, Florida. James, what's going on, man?
Hey, what's going on, people? First, I'd like to start off the show by saying that I'm calling in so I won't get fined. But I see that, I kind of feel what Tony is saying, man. I mean, we might as well just go ahead and get this game going. There's enough talk going on, and the NFL is really starting to tick a lot of people off with their kind of contradictory moves and actions and things like that. I don't like this thing with Marshawn Lynch talking about they would fine him for the beast mode hat, but then turn around and kind of promote beast mode on their websites and memorabilia and other merchandise that the NFL has. So how can you find him and then use his product or use his name? And just like that's like the NCAA right there.
Yeah. I'm wondering. Does he owns he licensed that, right? Do we know if did he franchise that out? I mean, did he copyright that?
I don't know if he copyrighted it or not, but most likely, I mean, he probably did. But I mean, either way, it's like if the NFL uses it, then he should get a piece out of that. But if you're gonna find him for putting in or wearing stuff that he's named after, but then you use it for your own benefit, and there's no consequence for that, then what's the point?
Exactly.
Mhm. And I mean, we all know NFL the way it is pretty much it's a business and money and corporate, and they making money on the side, but then next minute, he can't have his own thing, make his money where they want you to wear this and that. But I mean, hey, he came in, did what he had to do, and they still making a deal. They just want to get back from him since they think from a PR standpoint, the way he just came out with those, I'm just here not so I won't get fined, get back at him.
But I understand, like I said, I understand that he just gave away millions of dollars of advertising, free advertising, to whatever that was on his hat. I do get that because that is a national event with hundreds of cameras there from all over the world, and you wear a hat like that, and you just advertise that symbol all over the world. Now people are going to be reposting it on Facebook. Now people are going to be reposting it on Twitter and everything else. ESPN is going to keep talking about it. They're going to keep showing it. So he is getting hundreds of millions of dollars of free advertising. So I do see what the NFL is saying, but at the same time, can I not wear what I want to wear? I mean, I understand that I am a NFL athlete, but at the same time, can I not be myself?
Like I say, that's kind of what James was talking about, the hypocrisy. You got Tom Brady who will wear Uggs, and we know he's a spokesperson of Uggs. And so unless you're going to have players do their interviews and warm-ups, then they're going to be wearing somebody else's clothes. Like I said, with the hat, with the beast mode hat, it just so turns out that he has that license by New Era, and New Era is the official one of the official clothers of the NFL. So it shouldn't be a problem technically. Like I said, that's why I think ESPN is just trying to be bitter and get dude in trouble. It shouldn't be
right.
But like I said, if I see a guy, like I said, if Tom Brady walk up to the podium and he got on Uggs, we know he's a paid spokesperson for Uggs. It's not, there's nothing, that's not up for question. So why isn't he getting fined? Unless you're going to have these guys, like I said, unless you're going to have them wear the team warm-ups, and assign shoes to interviews, it gets kind of iffy on what you're talking about. I mean, some clothes don't have logos, some shit don't have logos on it. So just because it don't have a logo doesn't mean, I'm not going to know. I know a polo shirt when I see one, whether it got a jockey on it or not, So, like I said, that's where it gets kind of, like I said, that's where the inconsistencies come into play.
Yeah, I agree again, but at the same time, I just, I said this last week, and I'm gonna say it again. We are now a part of a 24-hour news cycle. They knew that as soon as that New England game was over, they had 2 weeks of dead silence because there was not going to be another game for 2 weeks. And you got 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for 2 weeks to fill. So they had to come up with something to fill some of that space. And next thing you know, here we are with Inflategate. Then, after Inflategate starts dying down, all of a sudden, here we are with Marshawn Lynch Beast Mode Gate. It's got to be something to fill up that time because they are paying $1 million a second for that time, and they got to fill it up with something that's going to make people turn that television on. And I think that's what's driving all of this.
Yeah, I mean, it's around the time, especially, for NFL, you don't hear, they just had the Pro Bowl, but you don't hear too much about that now. Now, pretty much the two main stories, of course, the Inflategate and then the Marshawn Lynch. I'm just here so I won't get fined. So those, going into the now, that's two big stories right now. Still, pretty much people are still talking about right now. You're kind of hearing about somewhat of it. So it's like, man, I know the NFL is loving it from a rating standpoint. It is getting ratings. I know the sports stations are too, like ESPN and NFL Network, Fox. They loving to hear this ratings.
I don't get it.
And people who probably never even watch football or who don't even know about Marshawn Lynch now know who he is. Oh, he the guy that said, I'm just here not to get fined. Now everybody knows that. So, of course, now he's going to be linked to that. It's just one of those things. And somebody's definitely going to try to make money off of that, with that, probably put a shirt or something like that saying, I'm just here so I won't get fined. So, man, that thing is, that's not going away. Yeah.
We got another one on there. Let's get this on hold here. 813, what's going on? You're on CMT.
But this is me, man. I got a new number, man. I'm just listening.
Oh, hey, what's going on? We got the Mouth of the South Clausel Mathis here.
Yeah, I'm just listening, waiting to talk to you about who.
I think you might have to.
We got something for that. We got something waiting for that. I know. Charlie Mike got something waiting for that. So.
Oh yeah, go ahead, play a little singing video.
What?
But the thing is,
Jason Winston. I like the guy.
We don't have to play. We don't have to play it this time around. I hope you listened to the show yesterday, because I wanted you to pay attention to what that guy had to say in reference to
yesterday.
And whatever.
That's a good lead in. Yeah, yesterday on our sister show, the Cold Hard Truth on Sports, Matt had Todd Sedquist on, who's a former NFL scouting director and former GM for the Broncos, 2-time Super Bowl winner. And he was asked if he was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, would he pick Jameis Winston number 1? Guess what he had to say, Clausel Mathis?
Yes.
Actually, you probably heard it anyway, so you already know the answer is no. First of all, and this for you too, Tony Watley. He said, unless it's Andrew Luck, who's a guy who's a once-in-a-decade kind of quarterback.
Please.
Okay, I don't have a problem with Andrew Luck being a once-in-a-decade kind of quarterback.
Andrew Luck ain't no once-in-a-decade type of quarterback, I don't think.
What's wrong with being once-in-a-decade kind of quarterback?
I don't think
you guys know more than Todd Sundquist.
I disagree with that.
You guys know.
I don't disagree with it.
I don't disagree with that at all.
Cam Newton is a once-in-a-decade kind of quarterback too.
That's a different story.
He is.
I think Jameis.
Absolutely.
I think Jameis Winston will be on the level of Andrew Luck. I really believe that.
He already said. And let me tell you. Hold on,
I've already said that.
Hold on, let me tell you. Hold on, Quanzel. Let me tell you what dude said. And he made a good point. He said, in NFL, you have a very short lifespan in NFL. He said a guy like Jameis Winston, his off the field stuff is going to outweigh his on the field stuff because you don't know what you're going to get when you're dealing with him.
Like, what could Jameis Winston possibly do?
Get suspended, get arrested, go to jail.
Has he been arrested before?
And also, too,
has Jameis Winston been arrested before?
Yeah, he stole crab legs and he got arrested when he had to
did he get arrested? Did he get arrested for that?
Yes.
Yeah, no, he did not. He's lying. That's what
he was arrested. I mean, getting. Hold on, getting booked.
Unobjective.
Getting booked.
Analyst. All you guys are.
Getting booked.
Right, so what I'm saying.
Getting booked and
so what I'm trying to say is this.
No, I'm not a judge.
Getting booked and prosecuted doesn't mean you can be arrested. You can be arrested and not.
Has not done.
You can hold on. You can be arrested and not get booked and charged.
Say what you gotta say. Let me speak. Go.
I said you can be arrested and not get booked and charged. He was arrested for damn sure.
No, he was not. He wasn't arrested. No, he was not arrested. Okay. Jameis Winston, this is the issues that Jameis
when he had that BB gun, he was arrested. Okay,
like I told you before, this will be similar to how Allen Iverson came into the league, and I've said the analogy: Jameis Winston will be the Allen Iverson of the league. If you track Allen Iverson's career in the NBA, he never had one off the field incident. He didn't have one. Okay, but they will create stories. Remember Allen Iverson his wife. They blew it out of proportion. It'll be situations
you know what?
with Jameis Winston. And hold on, let me finish. It's going to be situations like that with Jameis Winston, where, he may have conflict with somebody and they're going to blow it out of proportion. That's the issues that he's going to have to deal with when he gets in the league. From a legal standpoint, he will not have to deal with anything. Now, this woman, we know she's going to be on his back. She's trying to get paid. So that might be an issue at the beginning of his career. But in regards to serious off-the-field issues, I don't think you have anything to worry about with Jameis Winston. My thing is...
Hold on one second. Because we have a little snippet here of some on-the-field stuff from Jameis Winston.
Oh,
and it's mixed in, and I think you actually narrated. Hold on one second. I just want to run through this, make sure that it's still on here. Hold on.
Oh, God.
Well, he put in the work. But you can tell he's a natural quarterback. You come in off a second mean where you worked even harder, coupled with your natural ability as a passer. I think he's going to be posed to have a better year than he did last year. I expect better numbers from Jameis Winston this year than last year.
From the 50-yard line, Winston drops it, comes pressure, gets the pass away, it is intercepted, picked off at the 40-yard line, out to midfield, intercepted by James Burgess.
Jameis Winston will be ready. He will be even better than he was last year.
On third down, Winston over the middle, almost picked, was it? Yes! Pressure on Winston, delivers a first down throw, intercepted, another first half interception. As Winston rolls in the end zone, picked up again! A third pick in the first quarter.
When the game's on the line, he can deliver.
Blitz coming, Winston gets rid of it.
When the game's on the line, he can deliver.
Down 14, Winston throwing into traffic, and he throws another interception.
When the game's on the line, he can deliver.
Trying to rush Winston. First half of the second half is picked off.
When you need him to make a play, he will deliver.
Winston well protected. Picked off. Intercepted.
I guarantee he spent just as much time on football in the offseason as Marcus Mariota did at Oregon. Let's just put it that way.
So Winston back on first down. A high throw incomplete. Action on first down. Winston pressured, loses the ball momentarily, picks it up, but is sacked by Tony.
I would take Jameis Winston's best versus Mariota's best.
Noel's going to get 5.
I sure would. I still would.
Ducks Rush only 3. Winston has all day. Tries to escape, circles back, still alive. Loses the football. Ball comes out. It's scooped up by the Ducks. And Tony Washington streaking to the end zone.
Hey.
I see a guy that has a better feel for the game than Marcus Mariota. I see a guy that's more accurate than Marcus Mariota. I see a guy that has bigger big game play ability than Marcus Mariota.
Mariota thinking fast, makes a completion on the far side, and running free is Darren Carrington. Mariota keeps it for now, cuts back, and Marcus Mariota, a green blur to the end zone. 34 unanswered points to turn a close game into a beatdown.
Okay, let's get back to the point at hand. Now,
that was the point at hand.
Like I mentioned earlier, those are the only issues that you're going to have to do. The media is going to create stories about Jameis Winston. He's going to be highly scrutinized. I parallel this to Allen Iverson coming into the league. He's going to be the number 1 overall pick. There's a good chance of that. I'm concerned about that with Tampa now, with that GM. I'm really concerned about that, but I think it's to a situation, and it looks like it's coming out to play that Jameis Winston is going to be head over shoulders better than everybody else. So
I'm about to say something to you, Quazell.
You get your opportunity.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm about to say something to you.
Go ahead, Tony. I'll let you take this one first, please.
Go ahead, Wiley. Say what you got to say.
All right, let me say this to you. There is about to be a documentary coming out that they are not, let me finish, that they are not only going to have on CNN, they're actually going to put it in movie theaters. And I'm telling you right now, Jameis Winston might not even go in the top 10. After this movie comes out, Jameis Winston might not even go in the top 10.
When is the movie going to come out before the draft?
The movie comes out in March.
Ooh.
On ESPN or NFL Network?
No, CNN and it's like one of those store movies, like on the Sundance Movie Festival or something.
You got to understand that right now, the only people that even know about that are FSU fans. Because nobody really cares about Jameis Winston that's not an FSU fan, so they haven't really paid any attention to it. But when they give this national media on CNN and put it in the movie theaters for people who don't give a shit about college football to watch it, I promise you, come draft day, he gonna have a problem.
What I'm saying is, he's gonna be booed. No, hold on, don't get it. Donovan McNabb, like I said, this will be. I told you this is gonna be big because he's gonna be the number 1 overall pick. I still believe that. And because the thing is, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they're gonna have their investigators. They're gonna dig into the situation, and then if you dig into the situation, if you look at the facts, he's clearly innocent. He's clearly innocent because even in this documentary, she's not going to come up with any evidence to dispute his story. She won't be able to do that. She's just going to be like, hey, people are cheering this guy and everybody's calling me a slut. I mean, but what kind of evidence does that do to dispute anything he had to say? But, people that actually do their investigation.
Come on, man.
Or
the people that do their investigation that still think he's guilty, we know what type of people they are.
Look, you are guilty. The media has already made him guilty because when they made this movie and the movie took her side, he's guilty. And I don't give a fuck what a court says. I'm telling you, Jameis Winston is in real trouble. Real trouble.
What do you mean he's in real trouble? He's not going to be liked in the court of public opinion. He's not in trouble legally. He's not.
No, I mean in real trouble as far as his draft pick. In real trouble as far as what team he goes to.
He still will be the number 1 overall pick in the draft because he's head and
shoulders.
Oh
my God!
That's why.
You are tripping, dude.
Because you haven't really been looking at the analysts and the coverage. Jameis Winston is clearly head and shoulders above the best quarterback prospect. Now,
you think they give a shit how much athletically talented he is? They just called him a rapist. They don't care how athletically talented he is.
Listen, Wiley, listen. This is the thing. He's a brother. If you're head and shoulders superior over the quarterback competition, they have no choice but to draft you. Now, if Marcus Mariota was close to where Jameis Winston is, which they're trying to prop him up to be, which he's not, then you can make a
James, please take this.
Would be the overall pick. But Jameis Winston is head over shoulders the top quarterback prospect.
James, please.
What is this based on? Is this based on your opinion?
No.
This is based on many draft analysts' opinions. Many.
No. Number one.
You want me to name some of you? I posted
Are
one.
you done? Are you done?
No.
Are you done?
No, I'm not. Okay, no, I'm not. And let me
Oh,
tell you,
Lord.
this is what's going to happen. Tampa's going to pick Jameis Winston probably with the number 1 overall pick. There will be protesters there. I'm going to go to the stadium when it happens. There will be protesters out there.
This fool said I'm going to the stadium when it happens.
I'm going to give them my $1,500 and give me season tickets. But what I'm saying is, this will be a firestorm. Tampa's going to be on the map. This will be a firestorm from April to August. I'm telling you right now, this will be a firestorm. This will be a national story from April to August. Go, James. Go.
All right. Everybody's done, right? Okay.
I'm not going to say anything.
Number one, first off, this is nothing like Allen Iverson. Not even close. Let me tell you something, okay? Allen Iverson was in trouble at Newport News. He wasn't in trouble in 2 years at Georgetown. Jameis Winston was in trouble when he was at the Florida State University. And when he goes over to the NFL, he's going to have that trouble riding on him.
And Allen Iverson, Iverson didn't rape a white girl and have it put on national television as a movie.
That too. He had a big old fight in high school. And then that didn't carry over when he went to Georgetown, which was not that far from where he was at Newport News. This isn't like Winston doing something at Alabama and then going to Florida State. Those people at Alabama would be able to follow him to Tallahassee. But they didn't, because they didn't have anything over there in Alabama for him. But when I say that Jameis Winston is not the number 1 pick, I saw it over the season. And like I said beforehand, I put it on the line, $100 to Eric, that he wasn't even going to be the number 1 pick. And you could put this, and you got this on the Blog Talk Radio show right now. I said it before, and I'll say it again. Wait a minute. What's Jameis Winston going to be picked at in the NFL draft? Hey, LeBron, could you help me out with that? Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7, or 8. And when I say it, I really mean it. Now put that on the record.
Well, like I say, this I don't know. I mean, we've heard from experts. I mean, I guess Clausel, he's done his own research, I guess, and I don't doubt that he has.
Because you heard the same thing I've heard. No, you're talking about you don't doubt I have, because you've been listening to the same thing I've been listening to. You heard everybody, all the analysts say he's going to be the number 1 overall pick. So even just go and say it.
If they release a movie or a documentary 1 month before the NFL draft, you don't think that's going to affect, and the lady's going to be talking about him raping her, you don't think that's going to affect his draft?
It depends if the Bucks do their research. If the Bucks do their research, they will see that.
No.
Yeah, listen, you're gonna let me finish. Are you gonna let me finish? If the Bucks do their research, they will show that Jameis Winston is clearly innocent. Because if you look at this documentary, they talk about snippets of what she says. She is not gonna give any rebuttal, any disproof to what Jameis Winston's statements are. The only thing she really says is everybody's cheering me, everybody's cheering him and calling me a slut and I'm asking myself, why me? There's no mystery to saying, okay, well, this isn't what happened that night. This didn't happen that night. This didn't happen that night. There was nothing that she says that disproves what he says. Now if she generates some evidence to disprove what Jameis Winston said. Then you legitimate.
What has he said? He hasn't came out and made any statements about this yet. So what are you talking about?
He did make a statement. He did release a statement that he did at the FSU hearing. He detailed what happened that night from his perspective.
No, Blood, that's not released. That's releasing a. I'm talking about she's gonna be talking about this. He's gonna have to come out and challenge her in the court of public opinion in order to win this thing.
Well, he's not going to do that. I don't think that's the best thing he should do. And actually, I talked to Matt about it. Then he ain't gonna go.
Like I said, he's gonna. I think
Matt had it right. He should just let her fall flat on her face. That's what he should do. He should just let her fall flat on her face. If he
but the thing is, that's not going to work. That is not going to work.
And she makes.
Well, let me put Matt on and see what he has to say. What's up, Matt?
How's it going?
What's going on?
All right.
What's going on? Not much.
Now, Matt. First and foremost, do you not agree that when they take this movie out and call Jameis Winston a sexual predator and a rapist on a movie, national movie, and on CNN, playing it over and over and over again, by the time that the draft comes, Jameis Winston's whole reality will have changed?
It probably will, because now I wouldn't, the thing is, when I talked to Ted Sundquist last night, a lot of things kind of changed in certain perspectives. Because I talked to him a little bit beforehand, and then also he was on my show last night. I think Jameis Winston, regardless how defaming this documentary is, I think he's going to end up dropping. Not because he's not a good talent. It's just the off-the-field stuff that GMs are seeing, and the stuff that they're seeing from the background check is just too damaging, too unclear. Will somebody reach on him? Will he go in the first round? I'm fairly certain he's still going to end up in the first round. He's probably still going to end up in the first 10 picks. We just have to see how this documentary plays out. Again, this documentary isn't about her. It's about victims of rape and sexual abuse and stuff like that. She's just part of it.
Yeah.
And, the thing is, when looking at this again, I knew she was going to come out with this. I knew she was going to come out with something like this. I don't know why the hell she was just a part of a documentary. Like, it doesn't make any damn sense. Whoever's advising her on this stuff, they're not trying to make her any money. That's for damn sure. And she's not trying to create awareness. I'm
gonna wait till you finish. I'm gonna wait till you finish, Matt. But I have a take on that too, and I'll expound on that after you're done.
Whoever her PR person is a flaming retard, and I mean it in the way that they're such a feeble attempt. I question their ability to actually move at a non-slow pace. Because everybody when you come out with things in sequence, if you're a publicist or a PR person, you have a small interview. It talks about a little bit of it. That gets it out there. You didn't give everything away. You gave a little something. Now there's talk about it. Then years later, you come out with a book. The book tells a lot more. And then after that, you come out with a documentary or a movie. That's how you make money. That's how you capitalize it. That's how you create awareness on the situation. Link it to some nonprofits, donate book money, do a bunch of signings, like domestic violence shelters,
Matt,
which you probably can't because they're...
Matt,
go ahead.
Real quick, do you think, so you're basically saying you think there's a money agenda behind her. Are you implying that?
I'm not implying it. I'm saying there is, and whoever's guiding her on this is a retard. It's clearly a motive moving forward.
I want to give my take on this real quick.
That's all we need to know. That's all we need to know. Thank you.
Hold on.
That's all I wanted to hear. But keep going, Matt.
All right. I actually went over this situation a couple of times, and I agree with what Matt says. I think that when you look at her case, I think in the long run this is going to be good for Janet, because pretty much by her doing this documentary and coming out in public, A, she's no longer protected under Rape Shield anymore, and B, I'm almost going to guarantee that she is not going to have a civil lawsuit against Janet Winston.
Y'all really don't understand politics, do you? Y'all understand sports, but y'all don't understand politics.
Hold on, Tony.
Wally's about to go. He's about to go to race, but keep going, Mike.
Yeah, hold on. Let me finish talking. I said the reason that I think that she's not going to go through with this civil trial is because by her releasing documentary and being a documentary, hey, whoever's got that in the background, please put your phone on mute. By her releasing this documentary and it being a documentary about a date rape, it's going to taint whatever jury pool that would be out there for his civil trial. So his lawyer is going to have immediate ground for a mistrial on on pretty much any jury that they try to put out there for him. So unless she's going to try to get a settlement out of him, I can't see that. It's inconceivable. It would be almost like I said. It would be like I couldn't even. It would be like the lady from The Accused making the movie and then trying to make a lawsuit against the guys who did it. So
y'all are really missing it. Y'all are really missing it. Let me explain. Let me explain. I'll let y'all talk. Let me explain. Because what's going to happen is the documentary comes out. Then on every single news channel, they're going to go and give her an interview. And then every white person in America is going to feel sorry for her for getting raped by this black guy. And then all of a sudden she's going to write a book about it. Excuse me. And then everybody's going to buy that book. She is going to make her money. You can best believe that. It might not be directly from him because they found him not guilty in all of his cases, so it's going to be very hard to take him back to court. But she is getting her again. She is getting. Will you let me finish? She is getting her public publicity, and she is getting her name and the situation out to the national public, not just to the football public, to the national public. And I promise you, from this, she will make a lot of money. It don't have to come out of his pocket, but it will be because of him.
I don't disagree with you. I just think she's doing it in the wrong order. She's not doing it the most profitable way.
When you do an interview, your money is based on who's gonna get to break the interview. Her interview is gonna be tainted because she's doing a documentary. Basically, she's doing a documentary interview before she does an interview.
Why do you think they're able to put it on CNN? Because CNN's already paid her.
Well, she's not in charge of the documentary. This documentary, like Matt said, this documentary is a date rape documentary. It's not a documentary on her.
Hold on a second.
Documentary about date rape and sexual assault that she just so happens to be a part of. Like I said, she's one of they're probably going to interview about 10 different girls, 10 or 20 different girls, and she's one of those girls. Like I'm saying,
but she is the one that everybody will know because she will be the one talking about James Winston.
Whenever you see a big time interview whenever you see a big-time interview come on TV, the words right next to the person's name are exclusive. She's already dropping the exclusive, so whatever interview she does isn't going to be exclusive. So it's automatically going to take.
Wait a minute. I think something else is being overlooked here that y'all aren't seeing. Now, y'all talk about this whole thing with this documentary, but that's not the whole gist of it. See, what happens is whether she goes to that documentary and whether she gets any interviews or not, once she hits the TV and once everybody sees what she says, Jameis Winston's reputation is going to change in the public eye. Right?
Thank you.
And once that happens, and once that happens, you're going to see some of those people, some of the fans, and some of the companies that invest their money in sponsorships for these National Football League teams say, hey, you better not pick that person to be on this team.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
That's going to happen. And then once that happens, then his stock is going to drop, and that's going to cost millions of dollars.
Thank you.
If she can't get it directly from him, then he's going to cost him millions of dollars. So it's one way or the other.
Thank you.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's the same thing I said about the gay guy, and y'all told me I was crazy because America was accepting of gays. You see where that bitch is right now. Y'all don't understand the politics of sports.
That's not comparable, man.
It is very comparable. It is very comparable.
Dude, I guarantee you, Michael. I guarantee you, Michael Sam has made more money off of endorsements and interviews than he would have if he were a 7th-round draft pick playing football.
And just like I guaranteed you, he would not be on an NFL football team for this year, and he's not. And I'm telling you, Jameis Winston is going to drop like a rock off the side of a mountain when this movie comes out. I guarantee it.
Well, that's why I said he's gonna have to come out. I think when this comes out, he's gonna like I said, he's gonna have to talk about this shit, Clauzel. That's what I'm saying. He's gonna have to come out and face this broad.
He doesn't have a choice.
You guys act like that prepared statement that has his prepared statement that he gave to the disciplinary committee at the University at Florida State. That's already been made public. We know what that already says.
That's not
you can go online and look it up.
Exactly. Yeah.
You can read it verbatim. They'll just re-release that and add some more to it.
No. He needs to be on the camera. It doesn't have to. It can't be a release statement that you could show, in text mode on the television.
Here's what's going to happen.
He is
He's going to do an exclusive with, with I don't know.
Yeah, Roy Firestone
from ESPN or Stephen A. Smith or
y'all are really
Brian
missing
Gumbel.
Y'all are really missing it.
I think
understand something. Y'all need understand something.
Anything.
You know you are because America. Whose side is America going to take?
Tony,
the innocent white girl or the black guy?
Tony. Nobody's even arguing that point. We're just trying to come up with scenarios.
Okay. Well, if you're not arguing that point, then you need to understand if they take the white girl side, Jameis is done.
Nobody's disagreeing with you.
Jameis is done. Jameis is done.
Not done. No. There will be a team that will reach on him. They will reach on him.
Wait a minute. What do you mean he's done, Watley? What does that mean?
Oh, now you're going to shut the fuck up and let me talk when you ask the question?
You're such a clown. Go ahead. What does that mean he's done?
He is.
Oh, now you'll shut up, right?
Yeah, because I want you to embarrass yourself. So what does that mean he's done?
I will embarrass myself because every time you say I embarrass myself, I turn out to be right. And I'm telling you right now, Jameis Winston, when this movie comes out, he is going to get such negative national publicity. Fuck the...
He already got it.
No. You're talking sports. I'm talking 350 million Americans. I'm not talking about people who watch sports. He is going to get such national...
Dr. Drew. Everybody.
You are not understanding what I'm saying. You guys are stuck in your sports mind of a few million people. I'm talking the United States of America. And when they get negative on his ass is through.
Right. First of all, the sport out of the viewing public, 115.9 million. Over a quarter of them will watch regular season football games. So it's safe to say more than a third of the U.S. population is definitely hooked on NFL football and probably will be watching the Super Bowl and the draft. You know, here's the thing.
We know 75-80% of them are going to be watching TV on Sunday watching football. So
exactly. And let me put it this way. We keep looking at Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston is a small piece of this. He's a pawn in all of this. At the end of the day, the NFL is an entertainment business. You know, Ted Sunquist said it yesterday. He applied for the vice president position of operations for the NFL. The guy that they gave it to was actually an ex-player. But most of the guys in the NFL office, those are lawyers and, you know, marketing people. They aren't football people. They don't care about that. They're looking at what they can do to grow the business. This isn't entertainment. There is no difference between NFL and American Idol. There really isn't. It is entertainment. That is what it is. So Jameis Winston being dragged through the mud, that's great. You know, we talk about Deflategate. Oh my God, it's so stupid. No, it's so pungent to what they needed. We can only talk about how you can line up and run into each other so many times. Let's talk about how to deflate the football. Let's get people talking about it. Oh, it's
are you fucking kidding me? That's like saying what they put up about Ray Rice is making the NFL look better. Are you kidding me?
Yes, it is. It's a drama. It's
a
television drama. It's a television drama.
So you're going to tell me that what happened with Ray Rice gives the NFL a better perspective in America's eyes?
It's not that it gives them a better perspective or a worse perspective. It gives them a perspective. People are talking about it. That's all that matters.
Oh, wow.
And now, what did they do? We went from, oh, my God, the NFL, they're not looking at their players close enough. You know, look, he hit his wife. He knocked her out cold. Oh, my God, now they're getting tough on guys. Oh, they're on top of it. They didn't realize it. Yeah.
As a political,
and you know what?
As a political scientist,
went off on Twitter, a 20-tweet Twitter rant. Nobody was talking about domestic violence anymore. Nobody cares. We're talking about footballs being deflated.
As a political scientist, I'm telling all of y'all on here right now, y'all don't understand the importance of someone's opinion. Because just like in an election for president, all you got to do is that one little thing to sway people's opinion of you, and you have lost that race. It could be the simplest thing in the world. And I'm telling you, when this movie comes out, people that didn't even know Jameis Winston are going to form an opinion of him. And when that team in their state says that they are about to draft Jameis Winston, you can best believe them people are going to be mad as hell.
Well, go through the red states, and it's not.
What I'm saying is, it's going to be up to Jason Light to do his research. And if he does his research, he's going to see that Jameis Winston is innocent of this crime. So it's up to him, man.
They're not going to say that he's innocent. They're going to see that there's not enough evidence to convict him. That's what the DA said. It's not. It's not that they didn't know if he did any wrongdoing. It's that we don't have enough evidence to take this guy to trial. He has still a year left on the statute of limitations. Any slip-up, any sort of evidence that's presented, he could end up doing time. He's not out of the woods yet. He's not out of the woods yet.
That's fine.
Is why we're going to hear we'll hear his prepared statement, the same statement that he gave to FSU. He'll do an exclusive interview and he'll reiterate those things. You might as well say, I'm just here so I don't go to jail. You might as well just say that. I'm just here so I don't go to jail. That's what he should say. Just pull the lynch.
And in that prepared statement, it refuted every single point the accuser made against him. So I mean, it is what it is, and I hope that
it'll be back and forth.
How do you know? Have you seen the statement?
Yeah, I seen the statement. We all saw the statement.
You have?
Yeah, the statement was released to the public.
It's on the internet.
It's on the internet, yeah.
Yeah, it's on the internet.
So my thing is this:
How is the sealed statement that Jameis Winston gave in a deposition on the internet?
Good question. It was leaked, I guess. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. It's on the internet, but I don't know how it got to the internet. It's on the internet, though.
This is the statement that he. Hold on. Let me look because I haven't seen it.
It's an official statement. But hold on. My thing is this: it's up to Jason Light. If he's as smart as you say he is, Matt, and he doesn't get swayed by public opinion,
he's not taking Jameis Winston.
How do you know?
I'm telling you, Jameis Winston may not even go in the first round, much less in the first top 10.
Let me ask Maya. How do you know that? Do you have sources that say he's not?
He's not taking Mariota. I can't get into that. I can't get into that, but I can tell you that he's not going to end up taking Winston, especially after the documentary.
It's not going to happen.
So right now,
Matt. So if you say that, then Matt. So my assumption of him is he gets swayed easily by the public opinion. Then
he better.
No. It's not about the swaying of a public opinion. It's about what does the team need right now. The Buccaneers need currency. They need currency. No. Okay, hold on for a second. Take yourself out of fandom. Out of Fanville and pull yourself back.
Thank you.
I am.
And look at it. What do the Bucs need?
A quarterback.
A quarterback?
Yeah.
Why would you take a guy in the first round that is so questionable, either not knowing an NFL scheme or being off the field questionable? There's enough around it. Why would you invest millions of dollars in this? Somebody will. The Bucs won't. They're conservative. They're not going to do that. What do they need the first pick for? They don't need the number 1 overall pick. The Bucs don't need it. They probably don't even want it. To be honest, they don't want it. They're gonna leverage it. They're gonna sell the first pick for as much as they can, maybe to the Titans. They're gonna find the perfect fool. They're gonna find their perfect fool to give it away and get more. They need currency. That's what the Buccaneers need. They don't need one pick. They need multiple picks. I mean, they have 8 draft picks in this draft right now. They need more. They have an offensive line that's abysmal. They need probably 3 legit guys on the offensive line. Also, is running back going to stay up? West at the end of the year? I mean, 3 games? How can you judge that? What is Doug Martin going to be? We don't know. We don't know how those guys are going to turn out. Doug Martin had a good year, then he had a bad year, and then he struggled with injury, so he's not reliable. West, beginning of the season, most of the season, he was gone, 10 games, 13 games on injury? Yeah. So obviously, you could have some concerns there. Mason Foster isn't guaranteed to come back, and we're not even guaranteeing if he comes back, he'll be a middle linebacker. They might convert him back to outside linebacker because Castillas left at the end of the year for a 6th-round pick or 7th-round pick to New England, and he's playing in the Super Bowl right now. So the Buccaneers have questions a lot of places, and for the last decade, they're missing that 7 technique. They're missing the rush in. They haven't seen that. They haven't found that guy.
That Venner guy might be that guy for him.
My thing is this: you get your quarterback first, then you build around your quarterback. I don't go about building a team.
Why?
And then why?
Who says the quarterback has to be taken in the first round?
Every blue moon. I think Jameis Winston is one of these quarterbacks that's going to become once. It doesn't come every blue moon. You ain't going to get a Jameis Winston next year.
How many quarterbacks come out with this much controversy surrounding him? That only comes every once in a blue moon.
If you want to win a championship, you better take a risk, and this is a risk that Jason Light's going to have to take. Because if he doesn't take Jameis Winston,
he's not going to take it.
The Bucs will be
smarter than that.
In the top 10 for years. You can put.
I don't know what team is going to take that risk. That's just like saying taking the risk on the gay guy.
Will.
I don't know what team is going to take the risk. Yeah, somebody will, but I don't know which one.
Hey,
Cleveland wants to dump Manziel.
I know it will not be the Tampa Bay Bucks.
They're not picking up the option for Locker. They're not picking up the Locker's option, and Whitehurst isn't. He's just temporary. The Texans need something there. They need a quarterback. They're not completely sold on Tannehill down in Miami, even though he's showing some signs here and there. I mean, just about every team across the board. Look at Denver at the end of the first round. They're going to need a quarterback. If they take a quarterback in the first round, let's not be surprised. Peyton Manning, this may be his last year.
Hey, I look at it like this.
This
is going to even be worse. Hold on, this is even going to be worse for Jason Light. If Jameis Winston comes to this combine and this pro day and lights it up, this is really going to make him look even worse. It's going to really put the pressure even more on.
There's going to be no pressure on. There's no pressure on Tampa. He's not going to go first overall.
You can look at it like this.
I doubt Winston even throws in the combine. I don't even think he's going to throw in the combine, to be honest.
That's what I was just saying, man. I mean, Jameis really doesn't even have to throw in the I mean, we are, like I say, dude is superior talented. That's not in question by anybody.
We don't need to know his arm.
He doesn't. Yeah.
I have a question for y'all.
Let's just say if he does that anyway, to say, okay, hey, you know what? All these people saying
he won't.
About me.
He didn't go to the Senior Bowl.
Let me finish. Because he couldn't go.
He wasn't eligible.
He couldn't go.
He's not eligible.
He wasn't eligible to play in the Senior Bowl, but he was eligible to be involved in all the drills and everything.
I guess he didn't go. Maybe he's waiting for the combine. So my thing is,
you talking about Mariota?
Winston.
Mariota
might not throw at the combine. That's the rumor that's coming out.
He probably won't.
They say he got an AC joint. They were saying.
Yeah, he's not going to throw to it. I've already got confirmation he's not throwing to his pro day.
If Jameis Winston lights it up,
I don't need to see anybody throw down their pro day. That's bullshit.
If he lights it up at his combine,
I don't see it either.
There's going to be more pressure on Jason Light.
There's no pressure.
To me, pro day quarterbacks. I mean, you're going through 50 scripted throws. So I mean, to me, you can't do good. To me, you can only do bad at a pro day. I wouldn't even do one if I was a quarterback. I mean, you do 50 scripted throws. Okay, that's what you're supposed to do.
Hey, y'all.
You can only hurt yourself, really.
I have a couple of things that I wanted to bring up. That's happened over the past couple of weeks, right? And one of the things that I was bothered about was the thing with Marcus Mariota after the national championship game. Some of the people were saying that his performance in the national championship game would hurt his draft stock, which I couldn't understand that at all because, number one, he really didn't have a bad game. And then number two, if you're going to say that his draft stock is falling after that game, then what about Jameis Winston once they played in the Rose Bowl? That's number one.
What about Sam Bradford not playing at all?
Basically, well, the thing with Sam Bradford was when he was in Oklahoma, a couple of those years, or at least one of those years, his team was the undisputed number one team in the country. And when I say undisputed, I mean in the BCS, they were ranked number one in every poll that was out there, whether it was human or computers, they were the number one team. So he was pretty much like the top guy, almost up to that point when they played Kansas State.
Okay, but his last year and a half, he didn't even play football. He went to the combines and did good in the combine, and all of a sudden, he was superhero. How are you going to tell me that a man that goes in the top 5, a Heisman Trophy winner, how are you going to tell me he doesn't deserve to be as good as Sam Bradford? What has Sam Bradford showed anybody?
What, at Oklahoma?
No, in the NFL.
Well, I mean, yeah, but see, people didn't know his risk then.
He's in fighting.
It wasn't like with the thing with the Robert Griffin III, like everybody knew Robert Griffin III's leg injury, but nobody really knew about Sam Bradford when he was at Oklahoma.
How could you not know when he was out of the damn season for an entire year? You knew he had an injury. Come on.
But the thing was, when he was at the close of his college career, he was one of the top quarterbacks in college football.
His injury came after all of that. What I'm saying to you is everybody knew Sam Bradford was injured. Everybody. Every coach, every scout, everybody knew that Sam Bradford was injured. And they still took him at the top of the list, and he got in the fucking NFL and re-injured the injury that everybody knew he already had.
It wasn't seen as a significant injury. It's something that everybody comes back from because it's not 1952.
And now he's having to come back from it for a third time in the NFL because he's re-injured it yet again in the NFL for the third time after he had already injured it in the NCAA. It's amazing how you keep taking chances on this boy, but you won't take chances on somebody else. What the fuck is so special about this guy? I ain't seen nothing special about him.
There's a report that the Bucs prefer Jameis Winston over Marcus Mariota. I just want to put that out there. There's a report that says that. But anyway,
wait. Where did you get that report from, Quandale? Where did you get that report from?
Hey, look. Let me explain that. Hey, Cartel.
On WalterFootball.com. I'm sending the link right now.
Cartel.
Yeah.
I believe that. I'm sure they did say that. I'm sure that they're saying that it's a tough time. Both of these, I bet you they're saying both of these quarterbacks are great, but we're looking at Jameis Winston over Marcus Mariota. You know why? Because that makes that number one pick more valuable. That keeps in the mind of the other 31 teams, hey, maybe we ought to go get him. Maybe we should get him because they see value in him.
But once this movie comes out, Jameis Winston will be done.
True, man. That's hypothetical.
Once this movie comes out, Jameis Winston will be done.
Look at Kirk Cousins. Look at Mike Glennon. Look at Kirk Cousins and Mike Glennon. Why haven't they been dealt? Because so many people have had interest in them.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Once this movie comes out, Jameis Winston will be done. You say what you want. Once this movie comes out, Jameis Winston will be done.
Look,
they wanted Kirk Cousins to replace Griffin.
Number one. Hold on, let's go ahead and move on here because we've kind of been on this subject for a long time. James, you wanted to talk about, you wanted to go into signing day, and National Signing Day is coming up next Wednesday. We will be on then too, but there's a lot leading up to it. Like I said, for college football guys, National Signing Day, it's kind of, like I said, it's kind of fun for me. It's kind of like almost like a pre-combine, pre-draft kind of, kind of thing, especially, for if you really follow college football. Hold on one second.
Yeah, I did.
So you follow college football really quick. What do you want to talk about going into this week with going into signing day?
Well, I mean, it's pretty much coming into the close, with National Signing Day coming next Wednesday. We've been following, a couple of these teams and, a couple of the top prospects and what they're doing, where they're going. We're seeing how things are kind of like filling out for most of these teams, like Alabama, Southern Cal, Tennessee, Florida State, and the like. So my thing is that I wanted to get as far as which teams out there right now are kind of like surprising you with the verbal commits. Well, at the very least, the verbal commits, and who's like disappointed you as far as like getting signees to commit or those that decommitted from these schools to go somewhere else.
Well, what I've been looking at is the classes I've been looking at. I've been looking at Texas A&M. Texas, Alabama's going to have the number one. They're going to have the number one class this year. It's just whoever. Can somebody please put their phone on mute if they have like whatever that is in the background? We really can't hear it. Hold on one second. Let me see who that is. That Mike?
Yeah, Mike. Yeah, it could be Mike.
Okay, yeah, that was Mike. Okay. Yeah, it looks like we're gonna, like I say, I was looking at Texas A&M. They've had a lot of decommits. They had Dalen Mack. He decommitted. He's one of the top defensive tackles. This was a class that if they kind of could have pulled it all together, they could be really special. But now, they got Christian Kirk, who's one of the top wide receivers out of Arizona. He's going to be signing there. They had Kyler Murray. He also signed there, and he's the top dual threat quarterback. But he's recently been looking around to Texas, and from what I heard, he's going to be checking out Oregon too, with Kyle Allen, being a true freshman, taking over for Kenny Hill there. So if he wants to get some PT, he might look somewhere else.
Right.
I put in our group chat earlier. It's kind of weird. You got Florida and Michigan. I think Michigan has a 75th ranked class, and Florida's ranked 99. So Florida's class. If they come together, they potentially had a special class before Muschamp was fired, but they've had a lot of decommits. They've lost Shenryon Jones, their top quarterback commit. They lost him to Tennessee. Right now, they're still in the running for Martez Ivy, Byron Cowart, and C.C. Jefferson, but it looks like they're probably only going to get one of those guys before Jefferson and Cowart were pretty much a package deal to Florida, and Ivy, I think he's out of Apopka, he was going to be heading there as well. So that's a class that's kind of falling apart. Michigan, like I said, if Michigan's actually they flipped a recruit from Texas. They flipped a couple other recruits. If Michigan can finish, if they can close in the top 30, I'd be really surprised. But like I say, all these rankings are preliminary. None of these guys, a lot of these guys haven't actually signed yet. So
right.
A lot of these guys sign, a lot of these rankings are going to change. A couple of 5-star recruits. Like I say, Florida. If Florida pulls off all three of those guys, that could boost their class up, top 50. I mean, like I said, it all depends right now. Like I say, Bama's number one. I'm almost certain SC is going to end up number two. You're probably going to have, like I say, it looks like you're going to have Texas A&M up there. I'm looking at Miami and Florida State too. They're both going to have good classes. Now
you kind of missing one. Now I see one that's a sleeper in this group. They're not in the top 10 in a couple of these, but they're put number 3 in rivals, and that's Clemson. Clemson has three 5-star verbals on their thing there, and 9 4-stars. So if they end up closing real good by National Signing Day, they may end up within the top 10, or not, or maybe even the top 5 in these other recruiting.
The one thing about Clemson is, and I've noticed about them in past years, they'll get top recruits, but when they signed Vic Beasley, he was one of the top recruits. Now he's going to be I think they signed him. It was him, Tony Stewart at linebacker, and someone else. I think it might have been a guy who left last year, the quarterback, Taj Boyd. Like I say, Clemson will get top recruits. It's just with a school like Clemson, you're going to have to eventually get the wins or get a conference championship to cement yourself. They're kind of like I look at them kind of like Ole Miss. Ole Miss can recruit well, but then they kind of don't. Nothing comes from it. So then they might have a couple of years off. So for Clemson to really cement themselves, into that upper echelon, they're gonna have to get a conference championship. This is a good, like I said, this is a good time for them to do it. Because Florida State, they're gonna come off losing Jameis Winston. that quarterback that Clemson has. I think he was a freshman. I think it's Deshaun Watson or something.
Yeah,
Watson.
Deshaun. Yeah.
Yeah, he looks.
Yeah,
like
he's gonna be a sophomore. Yeah. He's a good.
Exactly. So if they can take advantage of it, it's like I say, it's all over. I look at them, them Miami, like I said, with Florida being down right now, there's going to be a lot of chance for a lot of those schools to get those recruits they might not have had a chance to get. They might have lost to UF and try to flip them to their side. So it's going to be interesting to see. Like I said, that Southeast is going to be kind of wide open right now.
Well, I mean, I don't really see Miami doing that much damage right now in the whole national recruiting base. Because when I see some of these top recruits out here, I don't even see Miami on their list.
Well, the thing about Miami is that they might not get the top guys, but they're going to get athletic. I mean, even at the Senior Bowl this year, you really didn't hear a lot about Miami guys in the draft, but they put, a lot of their guys are athletic. They're going to put they're going to put at least 3 guys in the top 2 days of drafts. They're not going to go around one, but second and third day you're going to see.
They're going to third round. Those guys are going to end up in the second or third round.
Who knows? Denzel Perriman, a linebacker, he might even break the first round. If he blows up in the offseason.
Oh, what I overlooked was y'all were talking about Coward on the chat. Byron Coward. I didn't know he was tops at the ESPN 300.
Yeah. That's why I said Florida has a chance. I mean, if they can, a lot of these guys were must-champ guys though. That's why you see them leaning towards Auburn now. A lot of these guys. I mean, Coward and Jefferson. They were. I think I'm not too sure. I think all 3 of them were actually verbals to Florida. Maybe. If not, strong verbals, they were all leaning towards Florida, but they were leaning. That was under Muschamp. So now that you got this coaching regime change. I mean, it's like I say, it's really wide open.
I think Jefferson. I think Jefferson may end up being at Auburn. I mean, from what I see, that was his latest visit. So, So it's like pretty much between Ole Miss, Alabama, LSU, and Auburn, and I think Auburn's going to be his choice basically for that. So, I think Muschamp is going to take a few.
Be a package deal too. Him and Coward.
Yeah.
So,
so
maybe they still are.
Yeah, they might still be, but they'll just end up at Auburn instead of Florida.
Yeah, that like I said, you get 2 guys like that, 2 5-star defensive ends. That could be that could be a definite, that could be a program changer right there. Speaking of, I mean, like I said, look, they go to Ole Miss. I mean, speaking of Ole Miss, Ole Miss, they're going to have a not a class like they had the previous years where they had a top 10 class. They're going to have a solid class, and they also have a couple of guys are going to have transfer there. They got a guy named T. Shepard, who was out of California. He was an original signee with Notre Dame. He was a 5-star cornerback, and he transferred from there back to a JC. And he's going to be attending Ole Miss this year too. So, like I said, they're still chugging along too. So like I said, I get really excited when recruiting comes around. Let me ask Watley, what do you feel about? You guys really didn't get the recruiting injection that you thought you were going to get from McElvain. How do you feel about that as a Gator fan?
I've told you guys several times, and I don't see why you guys keep making a big deal out of it.
Oh, boy.
We don't need 5-star recruits. Fuck a 5-star recruit. At Florida, we make 5-star. Are you not going to let me finish? You asked me a question. You asked me a question. Let me finish.
Oh man. Go ahead.
We don't need 5-star recruits. We make 5-star recruits. Why? Because we have 5-star coaches and we have 5-star facilities. And we can take a 2-star recruit and we can turn him into a 5-star recruit because we can train him and teach him anything that a high school anywhere in America can give him. So you can have your 5-star recruits. We make ours.
Do you have any record of any 2-star recruit coming to Florida and ending as a top draft pick?
I have a record of walk-ons coming to Florida and going to the NFL.
Name me two.
I can't name them off the top of my head. I'm sorry, I'm not an encyclopedia from ESPN, but I know it's happened.
Okay. Claudio, looks like Bama's going to end up with the number one class again. How do you? I don't know. I think this is like you guys' fourth or fifth number one recruiting class in a row. How do you feel about that? I don't know. It's like like we're saying, is Bama? It almost seemed like Bama was better like that period, like right when Saban came in. Like I said, when he had to kind of coach the guys up. Do you think Bama might be turning into kind of like the Kentucky football, where they just get the 5 stars and they don't make the guys any better?
Oh God. I mean, Clinton Dix. I mean, is he a bad player?
You talking about? Hold on. Are you talking about
a pretty good player?
Wait a minute. Hold on, Claudio. Hold on. Are you talking about the Are you talking about the dude? You mean the same dude who lost the game for Green Bay?
Who lost the game for Green Bay? Oh, he made those 2 picks in the game. Oh yeah.
Well, he didn't swat.
James. Oh no. Tell me. I mean, you're gonna tell me how Clinton Dix is a scrub? No, he's not, sir.
He did. I didn't say he was a scrub, but I'm saying
Alabama
he does
very good players in this league. We have very good quality players in this league.
I'm saying I didn't. Hold on. I didn't say
in the playoffs. We had a lot of players in the playoffs, and we didn't even talk about Kurt Richardson. So you
Kirk Gibson.
We don't make them good.
Ooh.
So my thing is
Kirk Gibson, baseball player. What are you talking about?
My thing is this: we set the standard for college football. We set the standard. Our program. We set the standard as a program. We didn't win a national championship this year, but it's all good. We'll be back next year.
Hold on. Let me. Now look. Now I'm gonna be as biased as possible here. Let me name top Alabama recruits. Let me hold on. Let me name top Alabama recruits that have failed to live up to their name or have done nothing in the NFL or have been Cyrus Quanaju.
Oh my
Mark
God.
Barron, D. Milner, Trent Richardson, Mark Ingram.
Hey, put me on.
You're on.
What's up, man?
What's going on,
Eddie? It is. Not much, man. I just came from the movie, decided to call up the show. Hear the maddest what you guys are talking about today.
Oh, we were talking about Alabama. We were talking about Jameis Winston. We had a real good conversation about that. But
hey, y'all hear me? Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah, we got you.
Is that you, Mike?
Yeah, I was gonna say I was still on. I guess.
Yeah, hold on. Cause keep your background noise on your phone, because your phone is the one we're getting a lot of noise from.
Is it better now?
Kinda. I can still hear stuff, but go ahead.
Yeah, it's still here.
You turn my volume down. What's the TV? You turn the volume down. But yeah, I was gonna say, but while he got something good with Florida, he got Randy Shannon. So Florida's gonna be all right. Auburn's gonna be a thorn because they got Muschamp, but they got Randy Shannon from Florida.
Randy Shannon didn't do all that good of a job in Miami. So
no, I'm talking about recruiting. He's a recruit. He's gonna get those South Florida boys to get down to Florida. So they got him in charge of recruiting. So he's gonna get them boys.
Look at all those Northwestern recruits that went to Miami. What did they do?
I think maybe it came down to it.
Aldarius Johnson, Tommy Street. Tommy Street was the lowest recruit out there. He's the only one that went to the NFL. Sean Spence. Spence was all right, but he was undersized. I mean, I never thought you're going to be able to, be 199 pounds at outside linebacker.
Yeah, I guess that kind of, as a recruiter, he's a hell of a recruiter. Coaching, that's probably, since that happened, he probably, they didn't live up to the potential with that class. But, hey, as long as he got them recruiting, he get them boys, at the end of the day, it's up to them to produce. But Florida's going to get South Florida now. That's going to be a problem for Miami. Miami get back on track. Miami need to get a coach because I thought Golden would have been out. So I think this year, which I think he'd be out of there this year. If Miami don't do nothing special, I think he out.
I mean, okay, like I said, we all have relations to Florida. You guys are living there. You know, we all went to school there. One of the things that I was talking. Yeah, is that your phone again, Mike? One of the things that I was talking with somebody about is it seems like the lower level Florida schools should be a lot better than they are. I'm not talking about Florida, Miami, or FSU. I'm talking about like the USFs, the FAMU, you know, it's like UCFs. It's like, you know, it seems like just from the talent level, maybe kids that couldn't qualify at those schools, you figure they filter down to some of those lower schools, but you really don't see those lower schools achieving that much, especially FAMU. Why do you guys think that is?
Well, Bethune is, and I mean, they've been, you know, at or near the top of the MEAC for almost, 5 or 6 years now, except for, and they pretty much blew their MEAC title this year, but by losing to Hampton. But I'm not sure about what's going on at, FAMU and USF. To me, with USF, I think they pretty much messed up their whole football program, not just after when Levitt was gone, but, you know, basically when Selman stepped down and Doug Woolley took over, and then you had Skip Holtz coming in there. That kind of like set the football program back pretty significant. And from that, they weren't able to bring in the people that they could have brought in even within their own city. I mean, you got Armwood right there, which is one of the, you know, best football schools in the country. You have Hillsborough High, that's, you know, traditionally a college school in the state of Florida. And, you know, they have, you know, other schools out there, whether it's from, you know, the big 6A or 7A schools or the small 2A and AAA schools that, you know, go to the Clearwater Catholic or Christian Catholic or those type of high schools there. I mean, the talent's all over Florida, but it just doesn't seem like, you know, those smaller schools are pulling those people in. It's almost like, you know, FIU is getting better people than USF is. Or even FAU. But I mean, I don't know what's really going on with them, though.
What are the facilities at USF like?
I mean, they're kind of new. Let me see. They built their athletic facility around 2005. I think around 2005 or 2006, because, you know, when Levis started out, they basically just had, you know, a little trailer that he was working out of like he's coming out of high school. But then they, you know, built that, you know, athletic facility they had there, and that could have, you know, helped them out a little bit, but they really haven't done that much since then, as far as I know. But I haven't really been there since 2012, so I don't know if they've really made any significant changes around, you know, that facility. I know that they've improved their soccer stadium at the very least and did some renovations in baseball, but other than that, I'm not sure what they did as far as their football program is concerned.
You know, yesterday, Matt was talking with Todd Sundquist about the possible developmental league for the NFL. Going down to the college level, do you think that the NCAA does enough to encourage smaller schools to compete with the larger schools? Like, I mean, do you think, because in my opinion, it seems like they actually try to keep all that money focused around the larger programs rather than encouraging, you know, I mean, you look at in the past.
Well, it's about to get even worse then.
Well, yeah, that's what you look in the past 20 years. We've seen Marshall, we've seen Troy. You know, we've seen different schools jump from, I think Georgia Southern. You know, we've seen different schools jump, you know, from the lower level to the higher level, and you know, and it's proven that they can be successful. Why isn't why is it? I mean, like I said, when we were at FAM, you guys remember FAM? They were supposed to jump to 1A. I think it was our sophomore year, and that never came to, So it's like, why isn't the NCAA trying to, encourage more of these schools to make that leap?
Well, I don't know if it's, encouraging them to make the leap or not. But when I say that it's about to get worse is because, a lot of these schools kind of bank on playing Miami or playing Florida or playing, Georgia or any school that's pretty much in their area. And now with this whole thing with the playoffs are concerned and how, TCU and Baylor pretty much got left out, that's going to give, these teams more incentive to say, hey, look, we really can't afford to be playing these teams that much anymore. So, the smaller schools aren't going to get the $75,000, $50,000, or $100,000 that they were getting by playing these schools. So that's going to hurt their programs even more.
I kind of have a different outlook on it. Go ahead, Mike.
Go ahead, Eddie. No, go ahead.
I kind of have a different outlook on it. I'm going to kind of touch on that thing about you were talking about Florida schools. Well, the reason why USF, UCF, FIU, and FAU, and FAMU, and BCC, our other big football schools, are not as good as the other schools is because you only see FSU, Miami, and Florida State on TV. In Florida, when we were growing up, you don't see those other schools on TV. And like, when we were in Tallahassee, we would go to FSU and say, about FAMU? They would be like, what is that? You know what I'm saying? Remember that? They don't even know that's a school. So most people don't even know those schools exist. And as for a child, when you go to school, just like me, I didn't even apply to FAMU on my SAT, have them send my SAT scores to ACT. I did the Big Three. And that's the reason why those programs are behind, because most kids' dreams are to go to NFL. So you want to go to NFL, you don't have a good shot going to NFL by going to USF, UCF, FIU, FAU, FAMU, and BCC. It's very hard. But the players that do come from those schools they do pretty good in the NFL. And as for the point where you said why the other schools aren't getting better, it's because they can't compete with the bigger schools. They don't get the talent to compete with the Big Three, FSU, Miami, and Florida. That's why they're not getting better. That's why they can't move up. And if they're one that was supposed to make a jump, it should have been FAMU.
Well, hold on. Yeah, keep going, because I want Eddie to keep going, because I had a question, though.
Go ahead. I don't think they're going to be able to compete with those schools directly. But what I'm saying is, say you get like we was talking about Adrian McPherson. He gets kicked out of Florida State. Why isn't FAMU or BCC or FIU going after him, being like, okay, instead of going to a JC, come here,
Well, the problem was, remember. I'm sorry, Mike. Go ahead.
Like USC and Stanford and Cal Berkeley aren't going to have the same academic standards as others. I mean, are the academic requirements to get in? Are they the same for all the? You know what I mean? I mean, what is it that much difference from USF to get into Florida State, to where it'll be viable to? You know what I mean?
Sometimes it is.
Nah.
It is actually. It's harder to get in Florida than it is to get in Florida State.
Oh yeah, much harder.
So it does vary, but it's about the same as like James is saying. But between the schools, it's harder to get in. The Big Three, or actually the Big Four, the Big Five now, because you got to include UCF and USF. They bring their standards up too, so it's kind of actually harder. It's easier.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Okay, but like I'm saying is, if I'm a kid who can't get into Florida State,
you know what?
Is USF going to be like, okay, you couldn't get into Florida State with a 2.5, but you can come here and get in with a 2.0?
That ain't gonna happen at USF. That ain't gonna happen.
Nah, you can't get into USF with no 2.0. But you know what I think also is dropping the ball for these smaller schools, and I'm talking about like FAMU and Bethune in particular. The thing with them is now with the expansion of cable networks and the sports channels, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have some of these schools on television now. However, a lot of the football games that they have aren't shown live. They're shown at 10:30 or like 11 o'clock. After it's done. The only
I was watching like TV One, and they were showing like Tennessee State, but it was like hella late at night. Even my mom was like, "Is this game live?" And I was like, "No, this is a daytime game."
Yeah, it's recorded. The thing with ESPNU or ESPN2 or ESPNU, they always show recorded games. The only two games that they showed live on the ESPN network is the MEAC SWAC Challenge and the Florida Classic, right?
Yep.
Well, actually three. So MEAC SWAC Challenge, the Florida Classic, and the SWAC Championship game. You have those three plus the Bayou Classic. Those are the only games that they basically have on that's live television. So if these kids are wanting that, actually see these teams in action, they basically have to stay up on Saturday night at 10:30 to watch them. And depending on where they are, they're not going to be at home at 10:30 watching the game. They're going to be somewhere else hanging out. So they're not going to be able to see those schools and see what they have and see what they're all about, so that when those guys from Alabama A&M visit their house or they come in from BCU entering their house, they're not going to pretty much know who they are unless their parents are basically from an HBCU. So that's a big strike that they have against these schools, is that they're not showing them on live television compared to the other schools that are out there.
And one more thing, too, to piggy off back what James said, I didn't even know we had, FIU and FAU until I got older. I never knew Florida Atlantic University, Florida International. Those are D1A schools. Most people don't even know about those schools in football. D1A.
Yeah, and the thing is, FIU and FAU are basically, 20, 25 years old as a university?
Yeah. Yeah, they had Al Golden as one of the, not Al Golden, what was that guy's name? It was
Howard Snellenberger.
Yeah,
Howard Snellenberger.
He was there. He coaches one of those schools now. So he was a pioneer at University of Miami.
Yeah. Yeah, to tell you the truth, when I first got to FAMU, I didn't know, what FIU, because my roommate, he went to UNF. I didn't know what the hell that was. I didn't know about any. I didn't know about any of that. UNF, USF, UCF. I thought it was made up. I didn't know. I didn't know about any of those schools, especially like FAU or FIU. I really didn't know about those. Like I said, I barely knew about FAMU.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just weird. Because it seems like there is an audience for it. I mean, like Eddie, FAMU compared to out here. It ain't, like when we were at Sac State, it was no comparison. FAMU's gonna have way more people, going to the football game. So but yet, Sac State got a better funded program than FAMU. So, it's just weird because it seems like there is an audience out there. It just seems like maybe it's not getting handled right, or, because you go to the classics. Well, maybe that's part of it too. The bands. People just come to see the bands or whatever, but. It seems like, there are people showing up. We go to Florida Classic. I mean, that's 40, 50,000 people right there. That's, no matter where you put it, So there is an audience out there for it. It's just, I don't know, maybe if the product isn't right or if it isn't being marketed right, but there is money there to be made.
Yeah, and I would suggest too, the powers to be need to get together and push for an HBCU to become a D1A school. There's only two that can do it. Two. FAMU and Howard. The other ones, no one really knows the other ones really.
Well, I don't know, man. I don't know. I've seen changes within the university systems for these HBCUs. I did not know that NCAA State surpassed FAMU in student enrollment.
Really?
They did?
Yeah. Yeah, they did. That's what I was told. I was like, wait a minute. Like FAMU, at one point, FAMU was like the only HBCU that had over 10,000 students enrolled.
Yeah, that was for the longest time.
All HBCUs are on their way to being dinosaurs. All HBCUs are on their way to being dinosaurs. All of them.
What schools did you say, James?
North Carolina
A&T. Yeah.
I knew A&T was getting a lot of people. Yeah, somebody told me about that. I knew A&T.
All HBCUs are on their way to being dinosaurs. Before the 21st century is out, there will be no more HBCUs.
That's what they're trying to do. You're right.
Thank you.
Yeah, they're trying to.
Thank you.
It's the truth. You don't have to like it. It's the truth. We have become a diverse nation, and because we have become a diverse nation, you cannot have an all black and all white and all Japanese and all anything college anymore. Not federally funded.
HBCUs aren't all black, so that doesn't apply there. But okay,
but that is why it's called historically black. Is because it is defined a certain way.
Florida State and UF are historically white. So I mean, what does that mean?
But they're not called historically white colleges.
That's because nobody calls them that, but that's what they are.
They are not described and defined as historically white colleges.
That's just because that's not what anybody calls them, but that's what they are.
Oh my God! Never mind.
Tony, Watley, you gotta know that, Watley.
Do what?
If you go back and look at the history, University of Florida used to be called Florida A&M. You do know that, right, Watley?
Come on. Really?
I'm serious. Yeah.
Hey, look, I want to get on. I want to let all the callers know. If you want to guys call the call number 347-237.
You also know that FSU used to be called Florida's Women's College, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so why are you asking me silly questions like that? That doesn't change the fact that HBCUs are all going to be closed before this century is over. All of them.
FSU did beat UF this year, Tony Watley.
Do what?
Yeah, they did.
Say that again? I did what with UF?
FSU beat UF this year.
Oh, my God. Yeah, they did.
But Watley, you got to look at, before Mike bring that call on, you got to look at Watley. It's politics, man. It's not about a diverse nation. It's the Europeans using their power and influence to change the system to take out HBCUs and what they stand for. Because there's a reason we created HBCUs.
Wait, protect our? What do you mean by our?
Huh?
Explain our.
What do you mean by our?
That's what I'm asking you. You said our.
He said power, not our.
No, he said to protect our schools. What schools is our?
No, I said they're using power. The Europeans are using power and influence by playing games of politics, saying we can't fund these schools federally because they're HBCUs, forgetting the reason why we created HBCUs, because they did not want us in their universities. We could not go to school with them. That's why we have these schools.
Okay, it doesn't matter what you were doing in the 20th century.
I just want to clear this up too. Wiley was about to argue the HBCUs. What were you about to argue if you would have said our, Wiley? What kind of argument were you going to make then?
No, what I'm saying is the American taxpayer is paying for public education. You cannot segregate or discriminate that public education anymore. There was a time in this country when you could, and now there is a... What you're going to talk over me? There was a time when segregation was legal in America, so that you could have things that were called African American colleges. You can't have that anymore, and I'm telling you that all of them, unless they change their names or stop calling themselves historically black colleges, are going to close. Every one of them.
That is not going to be the reason why they close.
Exactly.
It really is.
Let me put it. Now, let me put it to you. Let me put it to you this way, and I'm going to make this very clear. I'm here in Washington, D.C., Howard University. Yes, I know that they were founded by white people. I don't care about that right now. But we got something going on that's very serious in that area, and you know about it. It's called gentrification, okay? And this is in Washington, D.C., where it's called Chocolate City, right? But now when I go up into Georgia Avenue, I'm seeing more white people there than if I went downtown.
Because they're tired. Because the politicians are tired of having to go all the way to Maryland to buy land.
Well, it's not just politicians, my friend. It's not just politicians. But the thing is,
you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying.
So, but now, once that stuff happens, okay, then those people that own the property around the university are going to want something done to that university. Now, that could happen at Howard. I don't know if it's going to happen in Tallahassee because they haven't really done any major changes yet. And they have tried, trust me. TK Wetherill has tried many times to try to get something done to FAMU. But
they tried that FSU.
A couple of years ago, FAMU was on the verge of having been shut down completely. The federal government was going to stop funding FAMU.
So what's your point?
That's not going to happen.
I'm telling you.
It's not going to happen.
That's another part of it. Why? You know, everybody, you know, they talk about FAMU losing their accreditation. Who knows what? I mean, what do these accreditations, if they decide what the accreditations are, who knows if they're going to try to, you know, they could change shit to where it ain't in FAMU's favor just to shut it down off of GP.
You see, the accreditation thing is basically set by a board, let's say a board of directors or whatever it is. So if those qualifications change over time, so that means that these universities have to make the adjustments necessary in order to make that happen. Now, if it means that a certain college or school within that university isn't producing as well, then they're going to pretty much try to cut that program overall just to keep their, you know, basic, let's say their overall GPA up in order to meet the standards of that board of directors or the university board to keep their accreditation, right?
You gotta call it what it is.
But now, yeah, I know it's coming, but once you have stuff like that where you take away those type of programs, that means the people that used to go to those schools, their sons and daughters aren't going to be able to go to those schools anymore if they follow the same path as their parents. Okay? So once that happens, then some of that funding goes away that they used to have from their alumni.
There's no alumni funding that is going to help you if the federal government cuts you off. You're done.
But the
As
thing
a
about
public
it is,
university, you're done.
But the thing about it is that, like I said, it's going to take someone like those boards that pretty much set those standards, the local or state governments that, you know, set the funding for each of the universities that are within the state in order to take those universities out. Those universities are basically going to be gentrified. They end up being closed down, just like in Atlanta. Wasn't one of those universities closed down, Morris Brown University? Where is it now? Closed down.
Well, look at that school where Umar Johnson is trying to open up. You know, reopen. That was that was an HBCU.
Yeah, that was an HBCU. And there's probably other smaller ones that, you know, we don't really pay attention to that much that are in the NAIA, like Virginia Union.
It's a shitload.
You know?
It's a shitload of them, James. It's a shitload of them.
Yeah. There's almost like 50 to 56, you know, of those universities that are out there right now. And you know, over the course of, I'd say, the next 5 to 10 years, you might see at least 7 to 10 of those schools maybe closed down due to lack of funding overall.
In the next 100 years, all of them will be closed. Before this century is over,
I know that FAMU needs to have somebody come with a game plan and show a good 5-year plan to get the alumni behind them, to show that how they're going to refine the ship. I know that, like I said, it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier to close a school that only has 1,000 students. Like I said, FAMU got like I said, when we were there, it had 15,000 students. It got to be more now. It got to be 18,000. I do admit that they do have to do something about the admission standards. They do got to raise
it's about 13,000 at FAMU.
Oh, damn.
FAMU has a strong alumni base. Hold on. FAMU has a strong alumni base.
Yeah, they have a strong alumni base.
Do they donate? That's a different story.
That ain't gonna help them. Let me explain the situation. Let me explain the situation.
Oh my God.
Let me explain the situation. 2016 is coming up, right? You got a presidential election. Right now you have a Republican Senate and a Republican House, which means the entire Congress is Republican. If they elect a Republican president and you have a Republican Senate, a Republican House, and a Republican president, Republicans are against public education. And I promise you, HBCUs will be the first on the target list.
That's possible, like I said. Just because they're Democrats, they didn't HBCUs anyway.
I'm not seeing that.
My thing is, like I say, it's gotta be more funding. But like I said, the university has to do their part to show, how things are going to be viable. Like I say, when there's been a lot of building at FAMU done since we left. I've looked and I've seen new buildings, being built, but I don't know how necessarily those buildings are translating into new revenue, for the school. Tell you the truth, I would like to have seen them build a new stadium. Really, it's time to get rid of that. It's time to get rid of that grandstand.
That when we was there, they should have got that stadium together.
James, Howard.
What'd you say?
The area around Howard is being gentrified right now.
The area around
yes, absolutely.
Yes.
All of Washington D.C. is.
Let me tell you something.
All of Washington D.C. is.
Yeah, I applied for a position there. Actually, that's interesting.
No, come on, man.
Recently, Clausel?
All of Washington D.C. is. They are literally.
All of those people that used to be in D.C. are basically out of D.C. right now. They moved down from Southeast to Suitland.
They filled Southeast up.
Yeah, they filled Southeast up, but now they're moving out of Southeast, and they're pretty much all in Prince George's County right now.
I'm telling you,
they're moving out. Outskirts of
like you said though, James. I don't think FAMU is gonna have that problem because I don't see any areas around FAMU being developed like that. Not around there. Them fucking
not around FAMU.
Like Howard being right in the city. Yeah, it's been like that quite some years though. Because they said I've been hearing it for the past. I ain't been in D.C. since 2008, and everybody was saying that's now going on. Damn, almost about to be 7 years. Damn, almost 10 years. Wow. They was just saying, like, last time I was there, it's like everything's changed.
Yep.
It's like D.C., cost of living in D.C. is not cheap either, You got it's money out there. Even some of them little areas you think is all kind of, hood don't look as good. But some of those spots is like them little row houses. Them row houses worth like $1 million. Outside they might look all messed up, but they worth like $1 million.
Well, you guys in Florida, you guys need to take your issues up with our friendly FAMU alumni state senator Bobby Powell, and let us know what you guys think about all that. I'm serious. Huh?
All right.
The Florida state legislator is 3/5 Republican. Your Florida state senator is just a nigga sitting in the back.
You can beat up Bobby.
I'm gonna say this.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say this. And I have some. I have a cousin who. I'm gonna say this. I have a cousin who's in politician scene. He's close with Durbin. He works in the Senate. And one day he's gonna probably be a senator. And he told me this. He said back in when President Obama was running, Senator Bill Nelson from Florida was pretty much a guy who could have been President Barack Obama's running mate. But Nelson decided to go with Hillary Clinton. He didn't back President Obama, so he thought Clinton was going to be the person.
Yeah.
Now, he went along with President Obama, Nelson was going to be the vice president.
That's because Florida, the state of Florida is a key state to win the presidency, just like Ohio. One of those two states will probably have either the president or the vice presidential candidate from the Republican Party in 2016. You're going to either see Rubio from Florida or you're going to see the governor of Ohio either be the presidential candidate or be the vice presidential candidate.
Yeah, I think it's going to be what is dude? What is his name? Pawlenty? Is that the dude from Ohio? I think that's is that what his name is?
No, Pawlenty's not from Ohio. I'm talking about the governor of Ohio now. The dude, I can't even think of his name right now, but Ohio and Florida are the swing states, and I guarantee you they are going to get somebody from one of those states to be on their ticket, guaranteed.
Ain't gonna be Rubio.
Yeah, he has some real issues.
He's a racist, man. He's racist against the Cubans, Europeans, and Africans, and Hispanics. His self-hatred is I mean, that's unbelievable. I'm surprised he keeps his last name as Rubio and hasn't changed it to Ruby or something. Exactly.
If he got problems with them, then he ain't gonna win Florida. Because really, people say that hurt Al Gore for Florida, even though we all know it was some bull what happened because of that situation with the Gonzalez where Clinton and them say, hey, they had to take the boy Elian back to Cuba. That really pissed Cubans off after that. Had that swing his way, Gore probably would have won that state. Even with all that BS.
Like, Cubans in Florida is kind of funny acting, man. A lot of them, are we in overtime? No, shit, not yet. But,
hold on 5 minutes. Hold on 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
I'll wait till. But like I say, I know, sir. So like I say, there's two types of Cubans in Florida. Let's just say that.
Exactly.
You got Cubans like, and then you got, like I said, I've seen some Cubans to where it's like, they looked at me like they might have had a hood on their head. And it's like, you're a Cuban, and like, wow. So you got two different classes of Cubans in Florida.
You got your white Cubans, and then you have your Hispanic Cubans. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, you go to a place like Miami, you're gonna see two completely different classes of Cubanos.
And you got the African Cubans too. Don't forget about them.
You got your African Cubans too.
I heard they racist against their own white Cubans and black Cubans. I heard they real racist towards the black Cubans.
Yeah, they are.
Across the board, man.
Mhm. Yeah, it's not even up for debate. This shit, like I said, I've seen some remarkable ass stuff. I haven't even been around them that much. I know a couple out here. It's like, like I said, I didn't even know it was cute. That's how I know about, a lot of them actually changed their last names for more Spanish-sounding last names to more anglicized. Like I said, they might change from Rubio to Ruby or from Garcia to Garci.
I find it amazing that they literally even call themselves white Cubans. It's like, white Cubans? Really? But that's not me. It's not my place.
That's like the
hold on for a second. You can be white and a Cuban though.
Do what?
You can be white and Cuban though.
No, you can't. How can you be white and Cuban?
You can be white in America. Cuban means you're from Cuba. That's what it means. You're Cuban descent.
No. It means you're Cuban born. If you're Cuban born, you're not white. Cuban is a Caribbean island.
White, I know that.
Afro-Caribbean.
It's an island. It's a nationality.
Exactly.
But here's the thing.
Get it right.
It's a nationality. It's not a race.
Yeah, it's nationality.
I know what you're saying, Carzel, and I know what Wiley's saying. Both of y'all are right.
Oh, I know what Wiley's saying. But what?
I can't say it because we ain't in overtime.
Oh, okay, whatever.
We got 10 seconds left until we get over. Anybody want to call in real quick and be on before we get in overtime? Because you won't be able to call in 347-237-5539. Because it seems like we're about to get into a crazy subject. There's going to be a lot of name calling, maybe even a little bit of cooning on Wiley's part. I have to watch him. So everybody.
Edited and real and uncut, like we say, baby.
Yeah, so that's how you. Also, damn, we didn't even get to do our Super Bowl picks. Let's do our Super Bowl picks before we go into overtime. Who do you guys got winning for the Super Bowl?
Seahawks.
Okay,
I'm
Tony,
going with
who
the
you got for the Super
Patriots.
Bowl?
I'm going with the Patriots.
Mike, who you got for the Super Bowl?
I'm going with the Patriots. I announced that on the day they won on Championship Sunday. I got the Patriots. I think it's going to be a good one. Patriots get it done.
Okay.
I
Eddie,
think
who you
Tom
got for the
Brady's
Super
going to be
Bowl?
the Super Bowl MVP.
Seahawks.
Pavel.
Seahawks.
James.
I say go Seahawks.
And I'll take the Seahawks as well. 10 seconds.
So it's me and Mike going with the Patriots?
I think that'll be about is Matt on here?
I think he went off.
Okay.
All right, so next week, so next week when they got that ass whooped, I don't want to hear none of y'all talking about how y'all were with the Patriots. It's only me and Mike.
Well, hold on,
Hey, Kelly, Mike. Hold
on, Tony.
Okay.
I don't want to hear no cooning. Ain't that what y'all call it, cooning? I don't want to hear no cooning.
You do a lot of cooning on your own, Tony. You don't have to hear that from anybody else.
I don't want to hear no flip flopping.
Wait a minute, didn't you just like a couple of weeks ago pick Seattle and now you're flipping to the Patriots?
What? No. I for me, my team is lost. So who wins the Super Bowl now? I really don't care.
Once you saw the Saints weren't going to make it, you said, okay, now didn't you switch to Seattle?
No. I think Seattle is probably the best team in the NFL, but I think with this whole inflate gate, y'all don't piss the New England Patriots off.
That sounds like rock.
You say what you want to say, but you piss Belichick off. You think he cheated with them fucking balls. You wait till you see some of them calls he gonna make in the Super Bowl.
That's great. That's great white hype business. Seattle's not having none of that.
All right, we will see.
Marshawn Lynch
we will
is bring him to justice finally.
We will see. That's why I'm going with New England. I would have went with Seattle had this whole inflate gate thing not happened. But by the inflate gate thing going on and all them boys on Seattle's team talking all that shit, y'all done pissed New England off, and I guarantee you they gonna make y'all pay for it.
Okay. Well, we'll see. Like I said, it's gonna be a good game. We'll probably if you guys are in the group chat, we're probably gonna be on there live updating from the group chat. I might, or anything like that. Anyway, I want to finish talking about these Cubans real quick. Like we're gonna before we got in overtime. We're in overtime right now. There's two different kinds of Cubans. Like I say, you got these white Cubans, and white Cubans almost they actually do, in my opinion, they act worse than racist white people. I don't know if you guys have ever been around these guys.
Oh yes, absolutely.
But
some of them are worse than racist white people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they act completely funny style. And it's like
y'all got black Cubans in Tampa, dog.
Some of them feel like they're the most entitled ass people in the world. They got to come here for free. They didn't have to do nothing to be here. They could act like they were white, and the government had to give them whatever it was because they came from Cuba, and they vote Republican.
Yeah, that's basically it. They fit, like I said, they fit right in. They a lot of them, they're highly conservative, because they're mostly, they're mostly Catholic. So they're highly conservative. A lot of times they fit right in.
You're Catholic, you're conservative?
Yeah.
What?
Catholic is a conservative religion.
Whatever. Keep going, man. Keep going. That's fair. Keep going.
Christianity, wait. Christianity is a conservative religion. What are you talking about?
Absolutely conservative.
For those who don't know, Claus Catholic. He's the pride of, I believe it's St. Jude High School in Alabama, right?
Yeah, one of the best 50 high schools in the country. Yep. But
what's the big deal? I mean, all religions are conservative, aren't they? Name a non-conservative religion.
Well, I know, right? Catholicism religion isn't. I mean, from the birth control to the anti-gay stance, it's kind of.
So that's why I know that's what you're about to
I
bring
mean,
up.
those are some of the basis of modern political conservatism, isn't it? It's not the basis. It's birth control and homosexuality, right?
What I'm saying is, name a non-conservative religion.
Nah.
There's no such thing as a non-conservative religion. All religions are conservative.
Well, we're talking about Cubans, Tony.
Well, hold on. Anyway, we talking about the white Cubans. Keep going on that.
Yeah.
Like I say, they're highly conservative, do for their race and religion. I don't know. I don't know where they.
Because of their religion. I don't think it's because of their religion, but.
But anyway.
It's more about their politics than it is about their religion.
Well, let me explain something.
Religion influences their politics, but I don't know where they come. Like I said, I know that the Brazilians, it comes from Germany. Where do they come from? Where do the white Cubans come from? Are they Spanish or is that like a
yes?
Yeah.
Yes. Cuba, all of the Caribbean islands were slave holding ports, every one of them, including Cuba, and it had settlers on it. Huh?
Same in Latin America.
I know, but what I'm saying is, everything over there, everything in the Caribbean was slave ports or holding stations, so that Europeans did not have to go all the way back to Africa to get more slaves. They just piled them up on these islands so they had quicker trips to go get them when they needed them. And, of course, on these islands, they also settled, too. They had to start their own little towns and cities and this, that, the other to control the island. And that's how you got the mixture of the blacks and the whites and the Europeans and all of that stuff. And that's how they got their light brown skin.
I don't know about that. No, that's part of that's true. But then also after slavery ended, a lot of the Latin American countries, a lot of the Spanish-speaking countries, they wanted to lighten their race. Basically, they wanted to whiten their race, so they imported people from Europe to come to lighten their race. That's what happened.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Once after slavery left, it became tourist destinations, so that people automatically came. You didn't have to ask them to come. They came because it became tourist destinations, and all the white people came and started buying land on the area, and that's how it lightened the population. But that's after the whole exploration years. We're talking the 19th and 20th century.
I know I've also met some Spanish that are really racist, too.
To what?
You live in California. You should know about that. You live in California. You should know about that.
No, I'm not talking about Mexicans. I'm talking about actual people from Spain, Spanish.
Oh, yeah. And you know what? I never realized how racist some Asians are. Some people try so hard to assimilate and be white that they feel like if they want to be accepted by the whites, they have to hate the blacks. And they honestly think that hating the blacks makes the white people like them more.
Well, in Japan, after World War II, Douglas MacArthur, he was pretty much made like the Emperor of Japan after World War II. And a lot of American soldiers were over there, a lot of white dudes. So that's how a lot of negative stereotypes about black people got over into Japan. Even if you look at like early, Japanimation cartoons, they show black people as dark with big red lips, or they damn near look like talking monkeys. Have you ever seen like these early cartoons with the black people? A lot of But yeah, if you check, it's really racist. So if you look at, that's where a lot of their negative imagery of black people came from. Like I say, that plus you had a lot of black dudes, a lot of black soldiers over there who were fucking Asian chicks. So the Asian dudes was getting mad, like, look at these dudes screwing all our bras. It's kind of like the same thing that happened in Italy. Wherever black soldiers were, and then wherever they went to, they were screwing bras. And that's why you have, you also have a lot of outcasts, like what's the wide receiver, Hines Ward, dudes, that's
I don't agree with that assessment. I lived in Japan for 3 years when I was in the Navy, and but what I'm saying is
my best friend was stationed in Japan too, and
what I'm saying is I'm not even talking about Japanese and Asians in their land. I'm talking about Japanese and Asians in America.
Yeah,
Japanese and Asians in America want so bad to be accepted by white people that they purposely hate black people because they think that white people hate black people.
I mean, that, like I said, that comes in some, but usually, like I said, with Asians here, Asians in general, they're a closed culture. So, a lot of times it takes, it's like I said, because I know just as many Asian dudes that hate white people, is more than anything else. I work with a lot of them. I mean, you got, like I said, you're going to have some people that are going to naturally adapt and try to, think that they're going to be part of the white race. But Asians have been here, since the 1800s. White men was having Asians walk into railroad, walk into railroad tunnels with dynamite. That's how they used to blast the dynamite tunnels. So Asians have a lot of resentment towards white people here in America. So, like I said, it kind of depends on, what kind of Asian you're dealing with. That's why I was trying to say, Japanese Asians are kind of different than Chinese, or Vietnamese, because they've been through different shit in this country.
Right. Like I said, I'm just talking in general from the ones I've seen. I have seen a lot of Asian people that don't like black people.
Well, I mean,
and don't like Mexicans. I mean, how can you be Asian and don't like Mexicans? That caught me off guard. I was like, that makes no sense to me. But
that's kind of like I said. That's because they're a closed culture. But I mean, you come out here, you come to California, you're gonna see Asians everywhere. Like I say, you're gonna, and most of them, their family, like I say, you got these Asians. You got to look at it. These Asians have been, they've been here. They've been settlers. They done been through internment camps. Like I said, a lot of these Asians here be like, fuck white people. It's just they have a closed culture, so they're not very accepting until they get to know you. And that's some of them. Like I said, the younger ones, at least out here, the younger Asians, they love black folks.
Okay.
I haven't seen it.
You really
it's not like that.
A lot of Asians out in California are not racist against black.
I never really thought of that, and I mean, it's not bad like that out here.
Who lives in California?
Exactly.
I've been to California several times, though.
Okay, I think Mike would have a better outlook on that. He lives in Cali.
I live here, but go ahead and tell me how it is, Quazell. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not gonna tell you how it is. I'm good, man. I'm
right. I can't answer for California, but I've lived in Asia.
You've been here too, Eddie. Am I right or am I wrong?
He's right, man.
I've lived in Asia.
So you know about the sand people then. I don't know why they don't like us. They come from us. It's Asians, my skin color, my hair, that looks like an Asian.
No, Asians don't come from black folk. Not as far. Look, I'm saying as far as they see it, they don't come from black folk.
Oh, okay. I was about to say because I've seen some that look just like me, dark like me, Afro.
Look, we all can pull we all were born on the continent of Africa shit, but I promise you, Asians don't see themselves coming from black folk.
Well, that's because of one thing, though. Go ahead, Mike.
Like I said, that has a lot to do with where you are. If you're in Japan and you're, like you say, you're in the military from a country that has been dominated by the military. Like I said, Japan, what was it? They just got their independence back. A couple of years ago. So of course there's going to be a lot of anti-American sentiment over there, especially for That's why I say you had a lot of black soldiers over there that were fucking the hell out of Asian chicks. So
that is not true.
Okay.
Japan looks more like New York than New York does.
Nobody. I didn't say anything different from that. But okay, go ahead.
But what I'm saying is, you're saying there's a lot of anti-American sentiment in Japan. That's not true. Now, there may have been back in 1945, but in 2015, no.
That's what I just said. But you keep wanting to interrupt me. But go ahead. You know everything. Go ahead.
I know that I lived in Japan 3 years, and there ain't a whole lot of anti-American sentiment.
Well, my thing is, with Japan, I don't think they really care that much about what America does as long as America doesn't touch them. Yeah. Japan is pretty much, functioning on their own. They don't really need, America to see over what they're doing. They don't need, America's goods and services to the level of dependency. So they're able to operate on their own. So whatever America does, they really don't care. I don't say that they're, anti-American. They just don't care because, America doesn't matter to them.
Yeah. I would like to ask y'all a question. I know how, we have all these rules. What is it? The civil rights laws that we have, like why we have affirmative action. But we really don't benefit that much from these laws as much as like the Indians do. They get to build the Seminole, they get to build the casinos, they get their own land, they get their separate laws, all this stuff, right? My question to y'all is, what would happen if we were to get that? If we were able to go back to Africa and claim our land and get our stuff? Because I see a very interesting thing on their insurance book. There's a Holocaust law in the state of Florida.
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised.
Go ahead, Mike.
If you gave 10 black people an opportunity to go to Africa and do something like that, you might get maybe 2 out of 10 that want to do it, and you get about 6 that would laugh at you.
Do you guys even know the history of Marcus Garvey?
I cannot answer this question.
Because there is already a country in Africa that was started by black Americans. It's called Liberia.
All the countries were started by black Americans.
Eddie, I really cannot answer that question because my answer would be really too complicated.
Did y'all not know that?
What's your point, Wiley?
My point is, if you were to be told to go back to Africa and you went back to Africa, your life wouldn't get any better because you went back to Africa and got you a piece of land. Look at Liberia. What is Liberia today? Nothing.
This is what I'm saying, though.
Like I said, Eddie, you'd have about maybe 1 or 2 that would accept, and you'd have about 6 that would laugh at you and say they're happy.
Think about what I'm saying. I'm talking about all their claim to fame, the gold, the diamonds, the rubies, that stuff comes from Africa. They go into African countries. What's that big diamond jeweler that's I can't think of them.
De Beers.
They go to Africa and take our resources. What I'm saying is, what if they're not allowed to come and get our resources? We keep our own stuff. Just like in South Africa.
There's no resources to take. They've already taken it all.
Oh, they still there because people still getting killed. They've been striking. They won't work.
Eddie, you would have black people that would fight you to stay in it. You would have black people that would fight you to stay here in America.
I would fight you to stay in America.
Thank you.
I mean, oil. I mean, because like I was
do y'all really want me to venture into this?
Yeah,
please go ahead, James.
Okay, first off, I'm a historian, so I've really gone into the background of a lot of things. So number one, it's not like every one of us can go back to Africa. Why? Because not all of us have came from Africa. So that's number one. Because some of us were here before all of that that slavery stuff jumped off. So we ain't even going to start with that. Okay. Number two, why even talk about Liberia? There's Egypt. There's Sierra Leone. There's Gabon. There's Ghana. There's Nigeria. There's Niger. There's Togo. There's a lot of places that you can go in Africa and do business wherever. It doesn't have to be in one specific country. So if you really want to go back to Africa, yes, you can do it. I've seen it done. I've seen people do it then. I've seen it done now. So it's like, take your pick. Either do it here or do it there. But my point is just do it. That's my thing. And I'm going to just end it at that right there, because there's still a lot of things that people haven't really found out about themselves that have been hidden from them. I'll just put it that way.
That's the reason why we can't go back, because we can't trace our history. They took our history away from us. We can't say I was here.
What do you mean we can't go back? Eric, if you wanted to go back, you can go back right now. Catch a plane and take your ass to Africa.
You're missing my point. My point is, if I were to go back and find my great-grandma, I cannot find them. There's no way for me to trace them. They wiped out our history. That's what I'm saying. That's the reason why they came with black and white. There's no black man on the planet. There's no white man on the planet.
It's not. That's what Eddie is talking about. He's not saying, look, I can't go back there because I'm black. I'm trying to see if I'm Igbo. I'm trying to see if I'm Hutu. I'm trying to see if I'm from Tutsi. I'm trying to see if I'm from a tribe within Africa, so that I can identify with the people that are over there, that have been over there for hundreds.
But you know what? The people over there do not identify with you as an African. You are American to them.
Because control racism.
So
what I'm saying to you is, if you...
No, tell me. What you're missing is you're thinking that within the cultures within Africa that they are so far away from here, we are here in America. I'm telling you that is not the case.
I'm telling you that if you were to find out that you are Nigerian, and so you decided you wanted to move back to Nigeria, the Nigerian people are not just going to embrace you because you came from America, because you were Nigerian of origin, and now you're back in Nigeria. No, they see you as an American.
That isn't what I'm talking about, though, because you're putting it at face value.
Who's telling you that, Tony?
What do you mean, who's telling me that?
You are putting it at face value. If I was told that my family came from Nigeria, I'm not going to up and jump over and go to Nigeria like that. No, I'm not. What makes you think I'm that naive?
Eddie is the one talking about why don't we just go back? You find out where you're at, go back. Big deal. What you gonna do?
No, it's not that easy. It is a process. It's not like saying, oh, my family's from Nigeria, I could go there. No. Oh, my family's from the Bahamas. Oh, I can go there. No. It is a process, because you have to live like them in order to completely be with them. So, in other words, everybody over there is not like that. Some are modernized. So yes, you can.
It's a lot more that aren't. For some reason, the media wants this perception of huts and spears to be the eternal representation of Africa, which is not.
Not even close.
My roommate right now is from Kenya, and he goes back and forth, and that shit isn't, like I said, I'm gonna go back with him the next time he goes. That shit is normal, So I mean, I don't know what this, like I said, you got white people, Americans that'll go and retire in Ireland, that go to retire in England. Like I said, nobody ever tells white folks. Bring
up that point there. That you got white folks that say that they could go back to Ireland, England, Germany, France, Spain.
Yep.
Why? Because that's their background. Check their last names.
That is not true. That is not true. They're not going back. Listen, they're not going back to these places just because that's where their great-great-grandfather was born. They're going back to these places because they're tax havens and they can retire there and keep their fucking money. You are not going to go back to Nigeria and expect to live like a fucking king. It's not going to happen.
How can you tell somebody something that is not true based on nothing except for the fact that you're saying that that's not true?
All right, never mind. What I'm saying to y'all is you're making it out as if these white folks are going back because of that's where their heritage is. No, these white folks are going back because there are benefits to going back. There is no benefit for an American black person to move back to Africa.
Because go ahead, James.
This is where we get
this is
name the benefit for an American black person to move back to Africa. Name the benefit.
This is really funny. This is getting funny. Really, it really is.
I'm not naming anything, Watley.
I'll name a benefit.
Name the benefit of an American to give up their American citizenship and move to Africa. Name the benefit.
Expansion. American citizenship.
Expansion.
Name the benefit.
Expansion. Financial expansion. For one.
How the fuck are you going to financially expand in a country where you can have a dictator that won't even let you own your house?
Why are you really missing the point here, Tony Watley? You really missing the point.
No, the point of
I am really in a tizzy right now. You're really missing the point. Because
what's the point?
The point is that if I wanted to, I could have the choice to go over to Africa and go into business wherever I choose. The thing
is, the fuck you can't. Some of those countries in Africa have dictators that don't let you have free enterprise. What the hell are you talking about?
You
act like Africa is America. Africa is not America.
How come nobody says that when people talk about opening businesses in China? China is a fucking communist
right now. Everybody be quiet right now because this guy here actually thinks that America, like we here in America, really have that type of chance of free enterprise to actually build a business that is very large. It is not that easy for us over here in America. You know that. Don't even deny that. I don't care what your status is. Don't even deny that to me. Now, you know that. Come on now.
Why do you believe
right now? You really think you believe? I don't care about those dictators over in Africa. That is a large continent. You're thinking about 5 countries in Africa. I'm thinking about 54.
Now, how do you know how many countries I'm thinking about? I'm telling you that the country,
Tony, get that in your head. You think that it's not that easy over there. I've built relationships with those people that came from there that live here. Now, you think that I can't, within the next 10 years, try to get over there and set up shop?
All right. Well,
Tony, name me 3 countries that have a dictator in Africa.
I don't know. I don't know the politics of any of the 50 countries in Africa. But what I'm telling you is you cannot be an American and just go up in Africa and start running shit.
How you gonna say you don't know the politics, but you just said you can't go over there because a dictator ain't gonna let you own shit?
Because there are several dictators in Africa.
Who told you any of this? There's dictators
here. Oh my God. There are no. You have a president here. You don't have a fucking dictator.
You got presidents in Africa.
They call them presidents, but they run their country with absolute power, which makes them a dictator.
What did you say, Kelly Mike? What did you say, Kelly Mike? What did you say, Kelly Mike?
I mean, like you said, you know, I just want to know who told you this, Tony. I mean, like I said, if you, I mean, I don't know, dude. I just, you know, there's certain forces in this country that want you to believe that Africa is this bad place, and that's why I told you, Eddie. Like I say, you would get one or two people to be like, okay, and then like I say, you would literally have people that would fight you, and Tony's admitted that he's one of them, not to go to Africa.
Like straight up and down admitted.
Even though,
and I'll say it again, I don't want to go to fucking Africa. Fuck Africa. I'm American.
Even though there's somebody who just told me everything about Japan though. But even though he's never been to Africa, he does, like I say, he doesn't want to go there, and he wants nothing to do with it because it's that.
And just because you've never been to Africa, you want to tell me how wonderful it is? Then shut off, bitch.
It is a wonderful place, Wiley. It is a wonderful place because you know why? Everything on this planet comes from Africa. Everything on this planet comes from the continent of Africa. The Eiffel Tower, the pyramid.
Wiley doesn't like that.
One of the what is that thing called in I can't think of that thing, that big sphere thing in Washington. That comes from Africa. The Eiffel Tower concept was based off the pyramid. That's why they want to think all Egyptians are European when they're not. They're Africans. They don't want to get Africans the power that they possess and the technology that they possess. They stole our land, our resources, and our technology and apply it all to European all over the world. That's why Africans need to go back to Africa and claim the power that they have.
Well, then go on back, brother. Go on back.
Hey.
Take care. See you later.
You sound like you there? You sound like you're African. You sound like you're African.
I am an American. You can have Africa. I don't want nothing to do with it.
You're first African. That's why they call you African American. They don't say American African.
They don't call me African American. They call me Antonio Watley.
They call you a nigga.
Exactly.
What do you? Hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on. So wait. So when back in 2000 and 2010 when they had the census, what did you check?
Good question.
You ripped your census up.
Come on, man.
I checked other. Does that make you happy?
When you signed up for the U.S. Army for the Navy on your application, what did you put?
Black.
That means you identify with nothing. There's no such thing as a black man or a white man on the planet. You should know that. Black can be from all kinds of places. Hey, hold on. Why do they only identify African as black? Because black means nothing. They call French. They call Italians. Why would they call it black? It's a black, but you're African. That's two different things. There's two different words. They have two different meanings.
Oh my God!
You know the history,
really?
Mr. Watley?
When is it you saw Italians and British and all of that stuff on a job application? I don't remember seeing.
Because they all classify as one thing. White.
Exactly. They're classified as white. Just like I'm classified as black.
I want you to be honest, Wiley. I want you to be honest. Did you get your perception from Africa from the media?
I don't have a perception of Africa. What are you talking about?
You just told us about dictators and not profitable.
Where did your assessment come from? That's what he's asking.
Well, considering for me, I have had to do several research projects that have to do with politics, looking at politics all over the world. I've seen the politics of the continent of Africa. Yes, there's 54 different countries, but a lot of those countries, even though they're called presidents, these are people that have a single rule and dominant rule, and with single and dominant rule, they are dictators. They may not be dictators by name, but they are dictators by the way they run their government.
You mean like a country? You mean like a country where you have to choose from one party or the other to become your president?
Do we talking about Africa? Are we talking about Africa? Because I thought that's what we were talking about.
Yeah, like an African country where every year you have to choose one or the other party to become president.
No, that's what you don't understand. In a dictatorship, they call you the president, but you are you are the ruler of that country till you die. There's no election. They call them elections, but ain't nobody going to run against you.
The difference between a president, a dictator, is someone that takes emergency powers among themselves. And
that is not true. Saddam Hussein was a dictator. He had elections every year.
No, so who told you Saddam was a dictator?
Oh my God, I'm not going to argue politics with you because I guarantee you none of you know more than I do.
I'm asking. Nobody's even arguing with you. Nobody's even arguing with you. I'm asking you questions, and you're refusing to answer them.
Everybody, stop it right now. Now, you said something about politics, right? Well, I'm going to tell you this right now, and this is on the record. The next time I come down to Tampa, if I am in the area, I will pick the weekend. I will call it ahead of time. I will debate you about politics of these United States, one-on-one. I will call it. All I need for you to do is show up.
I want to be there for that one. I'm in Tampa.
Do you accept the challenge? I'm talking about Tony. No, I'm from Tampa, but I'm up in the DMV. But I will come down there and I will debate you about politics, Tony. Easy.
I have one thing for Wadley too. Wadley said something about rulers.
Wait, hold on.
They're the rulers of the country.
Wadley, do you accept that challenge?
James Bell, if you think you can challenge me on American politics, I will challenge you right now, bitch. I don't need to wait.
Hold up, before y'all start going there, I want to say something about rulers. Well, you said something about the country.
I will challenge you right now. We can take the next 20 minutes to an hour, whatever you want to do. You want to challenge me on American politics? I will make you look like a fool right here on national radio. Let's do it.
Okay, now, the question is, you said something about rulers in Africa, right? They're the ones who rule the country. So why is it that there are so many African kings and queens still left in that country? They don't rule nothing. How come
Charles Taylor,
you know about? How come
President of Liberia, dictator.
How come the only thing you know about
President of Cameroon, dictator. Robert Mugabe, President of
you want to know why, Eddie? Because
Zimbabwe. I think it's Zimbabwe.
I'll answer you why. I'll tell you why, Eddie. Because you used to have kings and queens, and then these white people came over, and the kings and queens wouldn't give them their diamonds and gold. So the white people decided to overthrow their government. So they got these people called dictators, and they had them overthrow their government so they can get the gold and diamonds. And then they left the country in turmoil. Continue, Watley.
What was his name? General Abachi or Abachi or something.
You made up. That's why I'm Indian.
Not Nigerian dictator.
That sounds made up, Watley.
Whatever. Toure, Toure, President of Ghana, dictator.
Watley, what are your views on Black?
Oh shit.
You all know he forgot.
I think it's Ghana, ain't it? Ghana? Yeah, Ghana's got a dictator. How the fuck you gonna tell me? Somalia. You know Somalia has a fucking dictator. Let's see. Let me think. I'm thinking. Oh shit. My mind.
Making it up. That's what you can't remember.
You got to prepare yourself, my man.
How do you feel about black people being our own worst enemy?
Huh? What?
How do you feel about black people being our own worst enemy?
We are not our own worst enemy.
Yes, sir.
No, sir.
What about?
Because I promise you, if we'd have got those 50 acres of land that every white man got when he first got to come to America from Europe, or we would have gotten those 150 acres of land that they gave every white man that he got when they crossed the Mississippi, I guarantee you we would not be our own worst enemy right now. I guarantee it.
Wait. You just said that you don't want. You just said that you don't want. Why don't you want your 150 acres of land to be here? Why does it have to be in America?
What are you talking about?
Eddie just asked you that if you could get land and go to Africa, would you? And you said no, you would fight to stay here.
Because I like the government here. What part of, just because you go over there and you want to say you own 150 acres, when the government decides they want to take that 150 acres, they can come and just shoot you. That can't happen in America. They can take it, but they'd have to pay you for it. In Africa, they won't even have to take it, pay you for it. They can just take it. Why? Because it's a different government.
I see the government.
I understand this government. I'm not going to go to some country where I don't understand the government. I don't give a fuck how pretty it is or free.
Well, you mean
I see the government shoot motherfuckers all the time here.
Exactly.
No, you don't. You ain't never seen the federal government shoot a person in America. Never once.
The corporation doesn't do that?
You ain't never once. Name one time you've seen the federal government of the United States shoot an American citizen.
There's about 6 million dead American Indians calling you a liar right now, sir.
Indians were not considered American citizens when that happened. I said you named me one time, and you say the federal government killed American citizens.
Wait a minute.
Black people aren't considered American citizens.
What constitutes an American citizen then? Who sets that standard?
To be born in the United States of America and have a Social Security number.
Hold on. No, it doesn't.
I just gave you the definition of an American. To be born in the United States of America and have a Social Security number. That is an American citizen.
That's a citizen, right?
Yes, that is an American citizen.
Right, but what constitutes a citizen? If they're born in America, then they
No.
America,
See, you're not accepting my definition. You asked me what the definition was, and I gave it to you. To be born in the United States of America and have a Social Security number. That is the definition of an American citizen.
Okay, so if one does not want a Social Security number,
you don't get a choice in wanting the Social Security number. In America, when you are born, you are automatically given a Social Security number, period. With your birth certificate.
That is a choice.
That is not a choice.
No, you're not. My dad. When my dad and his brothers were born, they didn't get. So my grandmother went and got their Social Security number.
That's because you were black. There is no longer a choice in that. There is no longer a choice in that.
So in other words, you're gonna come up with a qualifier for everything that somebody says to prove you wrong. Then, right?
In 2015, there is no human American that can be born without a Social Security number. You prove me wrong, and I owe you $100.
They could either they could do that, or they
prove me wrong. Don't talk me wrong. Prove me wrong. You prove to me that an American citizen can be born in this country and choose to not have a Social Security number, and I will give you $100.
There's only one person right now wrong, and that's Quazell. Quazell, when your baby is born, wait 2 weeks and do not go get a Social Security number and prove Tony Wiley wrong and collect $100.
Because either either that's going to happen or they're going to have that case where you pretty much do a, what do they call it, a dual service, where if like, say, for example, Chasma wanted to have her baby birth at her house, she should be able to do that. But sooner or later, the people are going to come after them, go to their house, and say, you should have had it born in a hospital.
It doesn't matter. Eventually, when they have to register that child as an American citizen, he has to have a Social Security number.
Yeah, as a citizen, yes. In order to be a citizen, yes.
That's what I just said. You asked me what an American citizen was, and I told you.
I'm not denying that. I'm not denying that. What I'm saying is, though, it's not. What I'm saying is, you do not have to be an American citizen here. You don't.
What do you mean? I'm not understanding what you're saying.
Like there's different statuses that you can have within this land. You don't have to.
Not if you were born here, it is not.
Yes, there is. Yes, there is. You could be a citizen. You could be a national, and I think there's like another status that can be obtained here within this land, within this area. And I could like send you documentation on that. But
now, if you're an American Indian, you don't have to claim U.S. citizenship because the Native American nation is a separate nation from the United States of America, so that you can claim to be an American citizen if you would like, but you can also not claim to be an American citizen if you are a Native American on a plantation. But other than a Native American on a reservation, excuse me.
Reservation.
But if you are not a Native American on a reservation, you will get a Social Security number in America, and you are an American citizen. The only exception are Native Americans.
Wait. Yeah, but I'm saying that you don't necessarily have to be an American citizen. But I will see if you can be born and claim yourself as a national after that baby is born. You can change your status from being a citizen.
Now, I'm not talking about the adults. The adults can be illegal. But the second they have a child in America, that child is an American citizen. I don't know what happens to the parents. I'm saying the child. The child born in America is an American citizen and gets a Social Security number. I'm not talking about the parents. You can be an illegal alien and have a child, and they give you some type of temporary stay because your child is an American citizen. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about born in America.
Now, I will say this, regardless of what the status of the parent is, if they have their child birthed in a hospital, then yes, they have no choice but to have their baby as an American citizen. They won't be able to get out of the hospital without doing that.
Right. And you won't be able to log your child into school. You cannot do anything official in America without a Social Security number, period.
That's not true.
What can you do?
Illegal immigrants do it all the time. They don't got a Social Security number.
Who? Say that again?
Illegal immigrants don't have a Social Security number.
There is nothing you can do legally in America without a Social Security number.
Illegal aliens in California can attend public university and obtain driver's license.
Exactly. And have bank accounts and get loans and have jobs.
Your President Obama just signed that.
You got to have some type of alien status. There is no, I promise you, there's no bank can give you a loan if you don't have a Social Security number or some kind of legal alien status.
You just now changed it to some different. Nobody was talking about loans or nothing. Stop it. You just changed it.
Somebody just said something about you can get bank loans.
I said loan, Mike. I did.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't say that shit. Like I said, illegal aliens right now can obtain financial aid, and they can obtain driver's.
Well, the thing is, the Constitution says that everybody in America has the right to a public education. That is why illegal aliens are allowed to still go to school in some states. Some states have state laws that says you can't do it, but some states don't, because the Constitution says that you are allowed to have an education. So that is why they can go to school, but I promise you, they cannot do anything. They can't get financial aid.
Yes, they can.
They can't do anything like that without a Social Security number, period.
Yes, they can. I'm telling you, yes, they can, and I'll be willing to.
I'm telling you they can't.
I'll bet you. You want to bet $200 on it right now?
Yes, I will bet you. Unless they have a legal number that they can put in for financial aid, there is no way they can get it.
Nah. Yes or no? Yes or no? Do you want to bet that illegal aliens can obtain financial aid? Yes or no?
I'm telling you, without a legal number that they can put in for the federal government for financial aid, they can't get it.
I'll take that as a no.
What? When you file for financial aid, you have to have a Social Security number or a green card number. What other number can they use? Because as an illegal alien, you got to have a number. Financial aid is done online, which means the only way you can identify yourself is by your Social Security number.
I'll take that as a no then.
I mean, he gave the point. I mean, hey.
Oh man. Oh, and remember that challenge is still on the table too. But I'll send some information.
You either want to take the bet or you don't. Like I said, I'll take it as a no since you just went through all that. I'll take that as a no. That's just like telling me that they can't get driver's licenses. I guess that's wrong too. But okay.
You don't need a Social Security card to get a driver's license.
Yeah, you do.
No, you don't. No.
You don't know about the laws in the state of Florida right now?
You do not need a Social Security card to get a driver's license. All you need is a legal. All you need is a copy of a bill, like a utility bill, showing that you have an address.
No, hell no. Hell, fuck no.
For a birth certificate, if you don't have a Social
Or a
Security
birth certificate.
No.
You do not have to have a Social Security card.
Let me enlighten you on the laws in the state of Florida right now. Right now.
A birth certificate and a fucking bill are not the same thing, so shut that shit up. That's not what you're talking about, Wiley.
You gotta have two forms of identification, nigga.
All right, Wiley. Let me tell you something, Wiley. These are the laws in the state of Florida. And you should know this. This is why I talked about last time. You told me I know what I'm talking about.
We ain't talking about just the state of Florida. There are 50 states in this country.
Let me finish. This is why people couldn't vote. I think it was either in North Carolina or South Carolina and Florida, because the laws in these states, you need an ID to vote. Well, once you get an ID or a license, you need a birth certificate, Social Security card, passport. You need a bill. You need all those things to even get a license or an ID. That would stop people from voting for President Obama and for Governor Charlie Crist. They were doing the same thing in South Carolina to make sure Republicans keep the office. Tony, you should know that. That's the law right now to state of Florida to get an ID.
It's the same way.
I mean, the thing is that with the Department of Motor Vehicles, right, it varies between the states that you go to. I mean, I'll put it to you like this right now. I could be I'm in Virginia right now, and it won't take me that much to go over to Maryland. I could move to Maryland, and then they could tell me that with me being in Maryland, I would need a Maryland driver's license, even though I probably went just, 5 or 10 miles to move or to change my residency. Now, you would think that if your driver's license is still valid within the state that you're in, it should still be the case once you move to another state. But it's not that way. So you would have to change your status if you change states or you move or whatever it is. And in some cases, you might need your Social Security card to get a driver's license, and in some cases, you may not. And in my case, I did not.
And I'm looking at the state laws right now, Tony, in Florida. It says you do not have a Social Security number, you can bring your school records.
Why you keep arguing about Florida? Florida is not the United States of America.
But Florida's a state in one of the 50 states in North America, right?
Okay, but every state has their own state law.
You don't. You said you need a Social Security number and you don't need that. Well, just prove you wrong.
God. I'm saying illegal aliens can get a driver's license without a Social Security number.
You just said
there are several states where illegal aliens can get driver's license without Social Security numbers.
But you just said they can't do nothing without a Social Security number. That's what you said at first.
The thing is, people were the people. Like I said, the illegal aliens can do it now, but people are actually mad because regular citizens didn't do it, but the illegal aliens could. That was one of the big uproars about that law.
California is a state that allows illegal aliens to get driver's license.
And I'm telling you, that's what I'm saying. That was a big uproar about that law because the illegal aliens were allowed to do it, but regular citizens weren't.
Hey, I'll put this out here just to open any type of argument. State versus Commonwealth. Just look those up. State versus Commonwealth. All right, keep going.
Okay, you only have so many Commonwealths. You got the District of Columbia, and I think Virginia is a Commonwealth, ain't it?
Virginia has a Commonwealth within it. Massachusetts has a Commonwealth within it.
Yeah, you only got like 2 or 3 Commonwealths in the country.
What about Ohio?
No, Ohio is a state.
Commonwealth.
Ohio is a state.
I haven't seen Ohio be a Commonwealth. It's a state.
Just something else as a
Commonwealths Commonwealths are pretty much in the 13 original colonies. When they changed to states, some of them decided they didn't want to claim just statehood; they wanted to stay Commonwealth. So the Commonwealths are going to be from Virginia up to Maine. The original 13 colonies are where you would have your Commonwealths.
So Kentucky, Massachusetts, Pennsylvania.
Look, let's
and Virginia.
I want to get back to this debate challenge between Tony and James. When is the debate going to happen?
Wait. Let's say April 25th.
Oh, Tony.
My birthday's the 27th. I ain't got time for you, nigga.
Come on, man.
I also want to invite Florida A&M alumni and state senator from Palm Beach, Bobby Powell, to come to this debate too.
Yep.
Yeah.
I got his phone number.
Call him up.
Either way, April 25th. April 25th and April 26th, I will be in Tampa. I guarantee that. So if you want to do it then, I'll put in another date.
Oh, when you
Lord.
call him, Eddie, make sure you tell him Tony says he doesn't have any power.
You ain't got to tell him that. That nigga already know that.
Can't do that, Bobby.
Do what?
Bobby is an ex-wrestler, too. I hope you know that.
Oh, what? I'm supposed to be scared of him because he's a senator? Are you kidding? Come on, nigga, please.
I said he's an
Wrestler versus wrestler.
You sure is.
I will tell him to his face he ain't got no power. What he gonna do?
I mean, Bobby can pick you up with one hand and choke slam you.
I will tell him to his face he ain't got no power. What he gonna do?
He might get you arrested for being crazy. He might bank rack you.
No, he ain't gonna do nothing but stand there. Why? Because I'm his boss. You better understand.
He might bank rack you.
I'm his boss. Everybody got a boss, and I'm his.
See about that.
You better understand how politics works.
Bobby has more power than you. I know how it works.